Committee on Finance and Budget, Honorable Ali Roba. This is a bill that seeks to make provision for the transfer of conditional allocations from national government's share of revenue and from development partners to the county governments for the financial year 2024-2025. And it is a key piece of legislation in the country's public finance and devolution framework, as it deals with extra funds that are allocated to counties. This is beyond their equitable share of the national revenue. And provides for additional or extra funding to the county government. So this is a bill that this afternoon is coming up for first reading before it moves into the next stage of consideration at the committee and also public participation, and then come back to the House for second reading, that is debate on it. And for the members to be able to make any amendments that they may be having regarding the contents of the bill. The quorum is about to be attained. As we can see, more members of the Senate have made their way into the chamber. Also at the entrance, we can see more members. So in a short while, we believe that that quorum will be raised, and the Speaker shall call the House to order for the sitting to commence. And once that is done, then we shall, without any further delay, let you in to follow on the proceedings of the Senate this afternoon. Pursuant to, all right, let's listen in to the Speaker.
Order, honorable senators, kindly take your seats. Clerk, you may proceed. Order number 1. Administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
There was a petition yangu. Sijui kwa nini haijawekwa. Ili approve last week. Ya walimu. Teachers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 31st of April, 2026. Report on the Division of Revenue Bill 2026, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026. Thank you.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate. 1, the report to Parliament by the National Treasury on all new loans contracted by the Government of Kenya from 1st September to 31st December 2025. 2, The report of the Auditor General on the national government, ministries, departments, and agencies for the financial year 2024-2025. I beg to lay.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 1st April 2024. The report of Standing Committee on Health on petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding allegation, discrimination, interference, and valuation of the clinical officers' practice right by the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors and the Social Health Authority. Thank you.
Proceed. Honorable Senator Abbas, kindly take your seat. Honorable Senators, as you may have noted, the Senate Majority Leader has laid on the table of the Senate this afternoon, Senator for Mombasa. As you may have noted, the Senate Majority Leader has laid on the table of the Senate this afternoon a report by the National Treasury and Economic Planning on all new loans contracted by the Government of Kenya from 1st of September 2025 to 31st December 2025. The report contains details on all new loans signed between the national government and various creditors. As honorable senators are aware, Section 31(1) of the Public Finance Management Act states as follows: the Cabinet Secretary shall submit to Parliament every 4 months a report of all loans made to the national government entities and county governments in accordance with Article 211(2) of the Constitution. Now, pursuant to Section 31(3) of the Parliament Act, the report submitted to Parliament is required to contain the following: the names of the parties to the loan, the amount of the loan and the currency in which it is expressed and in which it is repayable, the terms and conditions of the loan, including interest and other charges payable and the terms of repayment, the amount of the loan advanced at the time the report is submitted, and the purpose for which the loan was used, and the perceived benefits of the loan, and such other information as the Cabinet Secretary may consider appropriate. Now, honorable senators, given the significance of national date in our public finance management framework, I hereby commit the report of the National Treasury and Economic Planning on all new loans contracted by the Government of Kenya from 1st of September 2025 to 31st of December 2025 to the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget for consideration. The committee is required to table a report on the matter at the appropriate time. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Senator Karungo Thangwa. That business is deferred. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the notice of the motion of the report of Standing Committee on Health on petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of the clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health and the County and the Council of Governors and the Social Health Authority. That the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Health on petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of the clinical officers' practice right by the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors Social Health Authorities laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 1st April 2026 rather. Thank you.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. The Honorable Senator Veronica Maina. Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Senator Veronica Maina. That statement is dropped. Senator Fernande, the Honorable Samson Chiranke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for statement on the acid attack on Miss Mary Claire and the response to victims of gender-based violence in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the recent acid attack in Nairobi on a 24-year-old gospel artist, Miss Mary Claire. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not just about the attack on the said victim, but also the broader government response to victims of gender-based violence in the country. The incident allegedly perpetrated by our estranged partner, who has since been arrested and charged in a court of law, and systemic gaps by estranged, arrested and charged, has raised grave concerns about law enforcement, responsiveness, victim protection, and systemic gaps in addressing gender-based violence. The fact that the victim had previously reported an earlier assault involving the same suspect raises serious concerns regarding the adequacy and timeliness of action taken by law enforcement agencies and the effectiveness of existing mechanisms for the prevention of gender-based violence and protection of persons at risk. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1, the identity of the perpetrator, the status of investigation, and charges preferred, including a detailed report on how the prior assault report against the same suspect was handled, actions taken, and why preventive measures failed. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, details on Ms. Claire's Mary current condition and medical, socio-psychological, and financial assistance extended or planned by the government. So, Speaker, number 3, existing controls on the sale and distribution of corrosive substance and an assessment of the adequacy. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, a review of the existing penalties and enforcement mechanisms under current gender-based violence laws and victims and identify gaps requiring reform in gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, finally, detail mechanisms for victim protection, such as shelters, restraining orders, emergency services, coordination among agencies, and reforms to ensure timely investigation, prosecution, and accountability on the perpetrators of gender-based violence, or GBV, in the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Edwin Sifuna, the Senator for Nairobi City County.
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Energy on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the persistent power failures in several areas of Nairobi City County. Speaker, although I received a communication from the ministry regarding previous similar statements, the recent heavy rains and flooding have worsened the already fragile electricity infrastructure in Nairobi. Many neighborhoods have been experiencing prolonged power disruptions and in some cases complete outages for several months. These persistent power failures have contributed to increased insecurity and have severely undermined residents' ability to engage in income-generating activities. The poor maintenance of existing power lines across the city is a matter of serious concern, particularly because informal settlements continue to face power and economic marginalization, placing livelihoods at significant risk. In the statement, the committee should address the following: reason for the prolonged failure of electricity supply in certain neighborhoods in the city, examples including Mailesaba Street in Jiru Ward of Kasarani constituency, which has been without power for over 4 months. Number two, whether the ministry and the relevant agencies can undertake a comprehensive audit of the power distribution infrastructure in Nairobi City County to assess the sustainability and effectiveness of the existing distribution network and to identify areas experiencing long-term power outages. Lastly, Speaker, measures put in place to ensure efficient and reliable power distribution and to avert continued electricity crisis in the city of Nairobi. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting for a statement on the recent medical equipment supply initiative launched by the President. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise... Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of national concern regarding the recent launching of medical equipment supply initiative intended to enhance access to modern diagnostic and treatment tools in public and county health facilities across the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government recently announced a medical equipment initiative under the National Equipment Service Project, NESP, aimed at supporting health facilities within modern machines, with modern machines without requiring counties or hospitals to make upfront purchases. Mr. Speaker, the initiative is presented as a measure to expand access to essential health technologies and ease financial constraint in the delivery of healthcare services. However, matters relating to the nature of equipment, procurement arrangements, financing framework, implementation across the counties, and the long-term sustainability of the program remain of public interest. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the categories of medical equipment included in the initiative and the number of units already ordered or delivered to the health facilities. 2, procurement arrangements, including overall cost of the equipment, the suppliers engaged, the country of origin, and warranty terms attached to the supplies. 3, the counties that have received equipment so far, any payment already made to suppliers, and the source of financing for the initiative, whether through government allocation, donor support, or combination of both. Number 4, initiative cost implication to counties, the payment structure under the scheme, and the timelines attached to any financial obligations relating to the equipment or associated services. Number 5, Honorable Speaker, the measures in place to safeguard transparency and value for money, as well as arrangements for delivery, servicing, and maintenance of these equipments to ensure improved health outcomes for Kenyans. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Veronica Maina, you had two statements. One, understanding Order 52.1, and the second one, understanding Order 53.1. You may take both of them.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that accommodation. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to make a statement on a matter of international and national importance, namely the participation of the Senate delegation in the just concluded 70th session of the Commission on the Status of Women, CSW 70, held at the United Nations headquarters in New York from 9th to 19th of March 2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Commission on the Status of Women, CSW, is the highest global authority dedicated to the promotion of gender equality. This year's session was particularly significant as it addressed the priority theme, ensuring and strengthening access to justice for all women and girls. The deliberations focused on dismantling structural, economic, and social barriers that continue to hinder women from fully realizing their rights despite existing legal protections. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm proud to report that our delegation, led by myself and comprising Senators Catherine Muma, Senator Agnes Kavindu Mudhama, Senator Essie Okenyuri, and Senator Christo Asige, ensured that the Senate of Kenya was a leading voice in these global negotiations. Our engagement was defined by a commitment to showcase Kenya's progress in strengthening access to justice for women and girls who are advocating for solutions rooted in the lived experiences of our citizens. Mr. Speaker, sir, the key highlights of the delegation engagements included the IPU UN Women Parliamentary Meeting, and as a panelist, I informed the global parliamentary community of Kenya's legislative strides, specifically the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Number 2, Bill 2025. I highlighted how the proposed top-up mechanism seeks to resolve the decade-long two-thirds gender rule impasse, ensuring that our parliament is constitutionally compliant and representative of all Kenyans. Number 2, combating technology-facilitated gender-based violence, TFGBV. Senator Christo Asige served as a panelist in high-level session on scaling solutions for digital violence. She articulated the urgent need for robust regulatory framework to address emerging harms such as the AI-generated deepfakes and online harassment, which disproportionately targets women and persons with disability. Number 3, realizing maternal justice through accountable health systems, Senator Catherine Muma participated as a panelist in a critical session on building accountable local systems to realize maternal health justice. She shared Kenya's experience in decentralizing health oversight and emphasized that access to justice for women must include the right to safe, dignified, and accountable maternal health care at the county level. And number 4, the judiciary flagship event, our delegation supported the Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome at the Ford Foundation Center, where discussions centered on Kenya's multi-door justice model. This model anchored in the social transformation through access to justice, STAJ blueprint, which was celebrated globally for its focus on moving justice from distant courtrooms into local communities through alternative justice system, AJS. Mr. Speaker, sir, the session concluded with the adoption of the agreed conclusions. Member states reached a powerful consensus on a roadmap to dismantle structural barriers to justice. These conclusions provided a comprehensive framework for member states and for us as a House of Oversight to ensure that justice systems are well-resourced, that legal aid is expanded, that recognition and support is given to community justice workers, and that we prioritize the development of human rights-based framework for digital justice and AI governance. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, the lessons from CSW 70 reinforce the fact that rights on paper mean little without the power of enforcement. The key takeaways underscored that justice is not merely the absence of discrimination, but the presence of accountable systems. I therefore urge this House to maintain its oversight of the health and justice sector and to fast-track the implementation of the 2/3 gender principle. Parity is not a favor, it's a constitutional benchmark. We as the Senate must ensure that justice gap for women and girls across our 47 counties is not only identified, but decisively closed. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Senator Veronica Maina, CBS MP nominated senator. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have another request for statement on the ongoing construction activities within Karura Forest. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern regarding the ongoing construction activities currently taking place within the Karura Forest Reserve. Mr. Speaker, sir, Karura Forest is not merely a green space, but the ecological lungs of our capital city and a global symbol of conservation, safeguarded through the legacy of the late Nobel laureate, Professor Wangari Maathai. It is therefore of grave concern that as of March 2026, heavy machinery was deployed, an indigenous canopy cleared to erect container barracks for National Youth Service personnel, despite a subsisting court order halting such works. The matter demands urgent accountability and clarity. In the statement, the committee should address the following: intervention from the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry to ensure there will be no further destruction or excision of any part of Karura Forest for infrastructure or residential purposes, whether the ministry has complied with court order of 25th March 26, halting construction at the Rangers Village site, and explain why NYS personnel are still present on site despite the public outcry and legal stay. 3, why Kenya Forest Service permitted construction in a zone designated for indigenous forest restoration under Karura Forest Management Plan 2021 to 2041, immediate restitution measures by the ministry to remove the machinery and barracks, and the strict timeline for replanting indigenous species and restoring the cleared area while ensuring the site is returned to its natural state as a core conservation zone. And number 5, whether any environmental impact assessment or public participation was conducted before tree felling as envisioned by Article 69 and 232(1)(d) of the Constitution. Senator Veronica Maina, CBS MP, nominated senator. Thank you.
Senator Alan Chesang.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 58-1 to make a statement on a matter of concern regarding a publication by Standard newspaper under the sensational headline, "The Mastermind of Harambee House Tender Scam," made on March 20th, 2026. This article directly and recklessly alleged my involvement in fraudulent dealings, yet failed to present any credible evidence on substantiated findings to support such grave accusations. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Standard Group PLC, as an institution, enjoys the freedom and independence guaranteed under Article 34 of the Constitution of Kenya. This freedom is indispensable in safeguarding democracy, transparency, and accountability. However, freedom of media is not a license for irresponsibility. It carries with it the solemn duty to report truthfully, fairly, and with respect for the dignity of individuals. There exists a clear line between legitimate journalism and the defamation of character, a line which this newspaper has crossed, and not for the first time. Mr. Speaker, sir, the article in question explicitly named me, associating me with alleged fraudulent activities purportedly linked to Harambee House, yet no documentary evidence, investigative report, or official confirmation was provided to substantiate these claims. This reckless approach is not an associated incident. For instance, in 2023, the Standard Group PLC was found liable by the Nairobi High Court for publishing defamatory material against former police officer Linda Okello, resulting in damages and a mandatory apology. Similarly, a retired judge successfully sued the newspaper for false corruption allegations, with the court awarding over 7.6 million in damages. These are just a few of the cases that demonstrate a disturbing pattern of repeated lapses in responsible journalism. In view of the very malicious and defamatory allegations against me, I am proceeding to legal action against Standard Group PLC. Mr. Speaker, while I uphold and defend the independence of the press, I must equally assert that the repeated publication of unsubstantiated allegations is harmful, unjust, and unacceptable. The line between holding leaders accountable and defaming them exists to protect both the integrity of public institutions and the reputations of individuals. By crossing this line, the Standard has not only inflicted reputational harm upon me, but also jeopardized public confidence in the media as a pillar of democracy. Mr. Speaker, I therefore strongly condemn the Standard for this, for its reckless and defamatory publication. I urge the newspaper to exercise greater editorial responsibility, ensuring that its reporting is grounded in verified facts and presented with fairness. I further call upon the Communication Authority of Kenya to look into this matter and take the necessary measures to deter a repeat of such occurrences in the future. Moreover, I demand that the Standard issue a publicized and published apology in the same spirit, prominence, and manner as the false allegations it carried against me. Media freedom must be exercised within the bonds of truth, accuracy, and respect for individual reputation. Where serious allegations are made, they must be backed by credible evidence, not speculations or insinuations. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, while I respect the defend the constitutional independence of the media, I call upon the Standard to recognize the critical distinction between investigative journalism and defamatory reporting. The repeated crossing of this line is unacceptable. It is imperative that media institutions uphold professional standards, for only then can they maintain public trust and continue to play with a vital role in strengthening democracy. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda. That statement is dropped. Now, honorable senators, we will, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, allow me to rearrange today's order paper. We will move to order number 15. Order number 15 in today's order paper. Clerk, kindly call that order. Yes, Senator for Nairobi City County.
Honorable Speaker, there is a matter of great concern to the members of this House that we had brought to your attention. Perhaps we could address it while the transgressors are still around, because as we speak, they might finish what they are doing and just take off. Very disrespectful to this House, Honorable Speaker. So, should I say something or you will guide us?
What exactly this matter that you brought to my attention?
Mr. Speaker, you know there is a spectacle that we witnessed yesterday in the precincts of Parliament. When I was elected to this House, I was guided that there are rules of admission to Parliament. Speaker, when our clerk, on behalf of our committees, writes to governors to appear before a committee of this House, they are told to appear on a specific day before a specific committee. There is a specific room and for a specific mission. That invitation by the clerk is not for the governor to pick a time and place of choosing and come and have tea in the office of the clerk. Speaker, yesterday I saw the governor of Nairobi here, and whilst I respect him as a former senator, what we witnessed yesterday was an abomination, Honorable Speaker, and I feel like as a House, we have to address this matter. You see, Speaker, even if you go to the rules, there are school children who come here every day. All these school children have a pass. They have been admitted to Parliament by the Speaker and by the administration of the Senate. How is it possible that people can just decide to come, enter the precincts of the Senate, take pictures, address the media out there saying, oh, you were looking for me, now I'm here? Honorable Speaker, I think we need to put a stop to this circus. We are a serious House. We are a serious institution. We must be respected. So even this afternoon, there is a governor who has been, is the subject of a warrant of arrest. And the warrant of arrest was very specific. The IG of police told us as a committee of the Public Accounts Committee, give me a day on which you want me to produce this governor before you. The order is to produce the governor before a specific committee of this House on a specific day. Is it in order? Is it in order, Speaker? Is it in order,
yes,
Speaker?
Conclude.
For the governor of Samburu to arrange to have media waiting for him at the gate of the Senate, at the parking of the Senate, pig a lap there, out there, and then address the media from the precincts of Parliament, saying, those people who are looking for me, I am now here. Honorable Speaker, even for us, we don't address the press here. You directed us that if we have press conferences like we did this morning, we go to the press room. What sort of disrespect is this, Honorable Speaker? And as a person who's supposed to defend this House, I want you to stand very firmly and kick these characters out of Parliament who have no business being here today. He must come to this House before a specific committee on a specific day for specific business. I have just familiarized myself with Rule 3, Honorable Speaker, that in fact, a senior member or a senior member of government, a senior government official, can be allowed to come, but only when in line with his duties. Not to come and dramatize things here. We are a serious institution, Speaker. At this rate, I think that we are being taken for a circus. Thank you, Speaker.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have two quick things to say. Number one, even the Senate, we are sometimes our own worst enemies. Our processes take far too long. The reason I have not raised that issue with you is because you assured us at around 2:40 that a statement was being prepared, and after which something will be done. It's now 3:20, Mr. Speaker, more than an hour later, and a statement is being prepared. Surely, how long does it take, Mr. Speaker, to type a statement just saying there are parliamentary procedures that people need to follow? This House, Mr. Speaker, if we don't have enough communication officials, Mr. Speaker, we are willing to assist, Mr. Speaker, if the clerk doesn't have enough drafters to draft some of these very simple matters. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, you know, for the last 2 days, I was wondering what is happening. Curiously, when you drive into the Senate, there are journalists, there's a battery of journalists that have coalesced around the main entrance to the Senate. So I thought maybe yesterday there is something that they are doing, and this afternoon I have found them as well. Of course, as people that I know, I just said hi to them and walked to the house, only for me to realize that they are part of a scheme to do what governors are calling setting. They want to show the country that, oh, this institution summoned me, but you can see I'm here, nothing is happening, Mr. Speaker. How can you allow that to happen, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, in the past, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you your powers. Son of Kamale, a very powerful human being. I have seen the Speaker of the Senate order police out of the precincts of Parliament. Police officers. What about journalists, Mr. Speaker? What about governors, Mr. Speaker? This House and Parliament must be respected. You cannot have a governor who has an active warrant from the House loitering around the streets and sipping our tea, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you this afternoon, can you immediately order, first of all, the journalists to retreat to the press booth, because that is the reason that it exists. And secondly, any governor who has an active warrant of arrest, it is good because as a criminal they have brought themselves here. They should be proceeded to be taken to the parliamentary police station, Mr. Speaker. So that, and they should stay at the parliamentary police station until the next sitting of the committee. Mr. Speaker, and you know they have made a fatal mistake because PAC has no meeting tomorrow. The next meeting will be after Easter. So the governor of Samburu can spend his time at parliamentary police station, Mr. Speaker, until next week. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, you know, I have to address something also because I don't want to appear disrespectful to my colleagues. We were seated with my counterpart, the leader of minority, in my office, Senator Stewart Matai. We were trying actually to discuss the things that are happening. Then the governor of Nairobi walked into the office. As a former colleague, Mr. Speaker, of course I could not have kicked him out, but we had no prior arranged meeting. What I found curious though, Mr. Speaker, is that he had a camera in tow. And he said, oh no, I just want to have a good photo. Only for me to see the same photo in blogs later, saying that me and Mazayo, we have done what we call dry cleaning services for him, Mr. Speaker. I can swear, Mazayo is here. There is no business that we transacted with that gentleman. Mr. Speaker, at least...
Order, honorable senators, order. Majority Leader, order Senator Eddy. Order, Senator Eddy.
Honestly, Speaker.
Order, honorable senators. May the Majority Leader be heard in silence.
Honestly, Speaker, you can suspect me. But what about Mazayo, Mr. Speaker? Surely. Completely unfair, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, this is a serious matter, Mr. Speaker, which we require your urgent attention to this matter. And because I know these proceedings are being followed live, issue directions before the governor of Samburu disappears. Let him be taken to the police station here in Parliament, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
You don't want me to speak? So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the way Senator Cheriot is laughing, I don't know what transpired between him and Senator Sakaja, but it's very curious, really. It's very, very curious that, Mr. Speaker, we should allow strangers to just walk into Parliament, meet our leadership, walk out, and then, Mr. Speaker, what is even more annoying, Mr. Speaker, is that the governor for Nairobi, who is my friend and a former colleague, a person I have fought so many battles with in this Senate, he goes and says, I will not appear before the committee. Then, Mr. Speaker, in the morning, he sends a letter to the committee and says, gentlemen and lady, I am willing to appear. When can I come to appear before you? Mr. Speaker,
these games that are being played with Parliament end. Mr. Speaker, the only person that can bring that game to an end is the Speaker of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, stand your ground. You cannot have people coming from Samburu to address the media inside Parliament. We don't do it ourselves, Mr. Speaker. As a leader in this House, I cannot go out there and address the media inside Parliament. I can't. You have directed where I can talk to the media. That's where I go to talk to the media, Mr. Speaker. How can a fugitive, a person, Mr. Speaker, who has a warrant of arrest hanging on his neck, come to Parliament, address the media, and call our bluff? How can that be allowed, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, my request is very simple. Mr. Speaker, direct Major Sorobit, the Chief Sergeant at Arms, to personally get the governor of Samburu arrested and locked up in Parliament until the next time CPAC will be sitting. Then he can be produced to us. We can have a conversation, Mr. Speaker. These games must come to an end, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, I think you've made your point. Senator Eddy, I think the point has been made. Which clarity are you seeking, Senator Eddy?
Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious matter.
He will run away, Bwana. We want to go and arrest.
Mr. Speaker, a citizen's arrest in Kenya is actually a legal mechanism that allows private citizens to be able to arrest people who are suspect under our laws. If you read the Criminal Procedure Code, Cap 75. Mr. Speaker, how comes these two governors have appeared before this Parliament pressing and were not arrested by the majority leader, Mr. Speaker? I want to request, Mr. Speaker, if you can allow us to go and do a citizen arrest to these people and take them to the police. If that is allowed, Mr. Speaker, you can do it because it's allowed by the law. That's the claim I wanted to make. I rest my case so that you can make the ruling very fast. I want to go and arrest this governor of Samburu.
Honorable senators, I think I had indicated earlier on that I was going to make a communication on this matter, and that communication is being prepared. In the meantime, Senator Fernandez, I'm speaking. In the meantime, I will order the Sergeant at Arms to escort the governor for Samburu, if he's still within the precincts of Parliament, to the nearest police station. And order, Senator Fernandez. Order, honorable senators. And I'm saying that because the governor of Samburu is under a warrant of arrest. Now, secondly, for the journalists that are milling around the inner gate of the Senate, again, I order the Sergeant at Arms to escort them to the media center where they're all expected to ply their trade. I will give a detailed communication on this particular matter. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Order, honorable senators. Order. Clerk.
Order number 15, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, second reading.
The Senate Majority Leader.
When the statement is, when the Speaker's statement is ready, Mr. Speaker, Senator Ledama is inciting me, but the insightful words are very appealing to me. That why should we send money to people who don't want to appear before us? No, what we can do, Mr. Speaker, we can progress this bill until the point where we need to vote. Then we hold it until the time they appear first before us. You know?
What is the point of order?
And I don't know. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on standing order number 1 of the Senate standing orders. We need your guidance, Mr. Speaker. The issue of division of revenue, Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the Senate to discuss and pass the division of revenue, allocating to resources to governors who have failed and shown impunity to account for the public resources that we allocate to them as per Article 210 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker? Is it in order that you direct the majority leader to stand down the division of revenue bill until and unless the governors account for the resources that we are doing, Mr. Speaker? Remember, Mr. Speaker, there are 2 governors who have warrant of arrest. You saw the governor of Nairobi, but I was later informed he came to sign a condolence book. He did not appear before the committee. There is the governor of Samburu, who our colleagues have gone to arrest him, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order that we discuss division of revenue until the issue of warrant of arrest is addressed, Mr. Speaker, and cleared? Is it in order that 11 governors were named and shamed for failing to appear before the committee? 29 governors refused to appear to account for money, Mr. Speaker. If, Mr. Speaker, we allow division of revenue, we shall be complicity in passage and participating in corruption and impunity that will allow the governors to use resources without accountability. Not to mention Kericho County, which got an adverse opinion. In fact, Mr. Speaker, as a House, we should be invoking Article 225 of the Constitution to order stoppage of funds because the intention is likely to be misuse and abuse of resources, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, understanding order number 1, we need your direction that the majority leader of the Senate withdraws and stops division of revenue until the governors account for the resources that we give to the people, Mr. Speaker, and that is the message across the country. However they run, Mr. Speaker, they must stop it, and they must be held accountable, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, who is out of order? Because the Senator Fernandi was on his feet on a point of order. Now, Senator Fernandi, the majority leader, is quite in order to move that business. You have to understand that quite a number of governors appeared and accounted for the resources that are given to them. There are other consequences under the law for those who did not appear for purposes of accounting for the resources that were made available to them. It is those consequences that shall follow. Not debating the division of revenue is not one of the consequences for governors not accounting. So, Senate Majority Leader, you may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I had sent Senator Sifuna on an important assignment, and he has responded. Can he first report to the House, Mr. Speaker, whether his mission was successful, Mr. Speaker?
Senate Majority Leader, just proceed, please. Proceed. What is disorderly about the Senate Majority Leader? If it has nothing to do with the Majority Leader, then I'll overrule you.
Mr. Speaker, the business that the Majority Leader is about to transact is business that determines the amount of leverage that this House has over accountability and sending money to counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know very well, and I am not...
What is your point of order, Senator Ledam?
My point of order is that currently we have a situation in this country where the citizen expects us to be able to task this county government to be able to account for the money that we are fighting for them to go there. If you read Article 217, Mr. Speaker, we decided that we are sending more money to counties. 219, the moment we finish this, 219 dictates that that money cannot be delayed. Why should we be continuing discussing sending money, Mr. Speaker, when those who are receiving this money cannot account for it? So, Mr. Speaker, I think it would be fair so that we can be able to transact business effectively, that the gentleman who was sent out to be able to carry out a task reports to this House if they succeeded in their citizen's arrest or not. And the orders that you gave, Mr. Speaker, you did order the Sergeant-at-Arms to be able to escort a witness to the nearest police station. It will be in order for us to get an update of what has happened so that we can proceed well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Senator Ledama, the point of order you've raised is the very same point of order that the Senator Fernandi had raised. And if you listened carefully, I overruled that point of order. On the issue of citizen arrest, I had not ordered or instructed anybody to go effect arrest. I had directed the Sergeant-at-Arms to escort the governor of Samburu, in case he's within the presence of Parliament, to the nearest police station. You may proceed, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the governor has run away, but you know the police warrant of arrest is active. So we want to tell the IG that he is somewhere within the CBD, and he should be located immediately, because, Mr. Speaker, it is clear that he wants to do business with this House, only that he does not want to come on his own volition. He wants to be brought here, Mr. Speaker. So maybe, I don't know, later you can amend your guidance and instruct the IG to locate him within Nairobi so that it's easier. Mr. Speaker, I know my colleagues, Senator Cherargei and Senator Ledama, have raised this issue. Why should we proceed with division of revenue while we have, Mr. Speaker, this conversation? These are senior legislators. They understand that passage of a division of revenue, number one, is time-bound. Number two, is a process. We are not concluding on this exercise today. This, Mr. Speaker, no. Mr. Speaker, I am not certainly convinced that we need to drop this business at this point, because, Mr. Speaker...
Senate Majority Leader, I called you to proceed. Kindly proceed. Why are you debating whether to proceed or not to proceed?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, was published in the Kenya Gazette Supplement number 14 of 2026, dated on the 19th of February 2026. The bill was passed by the National Assembly on 10th of March, which is 2 weeks ago, and referred to the Senate for consideration. The principal object of this bill is to provide the vertical sharing of revenue, Mr. Speaker, raised nationally between the two levels of government, the national and the county governments for financial year 2026 and 2027, in accordance with Article 202, 203, 205, 218, 2 of the Constitution of Kenya.
Proceed. Have you concluded?
No, there's somebody shouting point of
order, Senator Fernandi. What is is it a clarification or a point of order?
It's a point of order, Speaker, just for purposes of procedure. Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding order 159 on withdrawal of bills. Standing order 159.1, either before the commencement of business or on the order of the day, for any stage of the bill being read, the senator in charge of the bill may, without notice, claim to withdraw the bill. If the Speaker is of the opinion that the claim is an abuse of the proceedings of the Speaker shall decline to allow the withdrawal of the bill A bill that has been withdrawn may be subject to Standing Order 130, which means it can be reintroduced, and republication to be introduced again. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, number 159.4, if a senator in charge of a bill desires to withdraw a bill before it is introduced in the House, the senator shall in writing, of course, in comparison. My only concern under 159 on withdrawal of bills, the senator of Kericho, who is the distinguished majority leader, has the power as per this standing order to withdraw this bill of division of revenue, because what we are discussing, Mr. Speaker, sir, is under Chapter 13 on principles of public finance on accountability and transparency, under Article 10 on national values and principles of governance, under Article 174 on objects on principles of devolution, on accountability and transparency of resources, Mr. Speaker. That is sufficient constitutional provisions that suffices, Mr. Speaker, for the majority leader. I hope he would be listening through you, Mr. Speaker. The Senate majority leader, you know you are very wise and you have Solomonic wisdom. It is in the interest of this country that you withdraw this bill pronto, so that the Kenyans can see we are serious on accountability and transparency, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Majority Leader, the floor. Majority Leader, the floor is yours. It is upon the Majority Leader. If you look at that particular standing order, you cannot force the Majority Leader to the floor.
Mr. Speaker,
What is the point of order, Senator Kathuri? Majority Leader, take your seat.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to plead with you that given that you
I
are
have
not...
the floor, Honorable Majority
just,
Leader. Okay.
Just 10 seconds. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to request you, given that you cannot be a leader without followers, I want to, Mr. Speaker, I want to listen to the wisdom of my colleagues before proceeding. So if you could allow for a few interventions, then I'll make the decision.
Senator Mogeni. The Senator for Nandi has spoken from this side. Let's move this. Then I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Senator for Meru.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to send a statement to these guys calling themselves their excellencies, governors. In fact, Mr. Speaker, there are some of our former colleagues, like the one who was here this afternoon, Honorable Lelelit. You know, Mr. Speaker, as PSC, we normally allow our former colleagues to have access to this house, but as long as they conduct themselves in an honorable manner. Our information that has reached Mr. Speaker indicates that the moment you made a pronouncement, Mr. Speaker, Senator Lelelit has been captured running like 100-meter stag. Yeah, Governor Lelelit. He has run faster than Omanyala out of the precincts of this house to escape the implementation, Mr. Speaker, of your directive, Mr. Speaker. I've never seen somebody run like the way Lelelit has run from Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, we must, this gives us an opportunity to sit down, Mr. Speaker, and consider whether, as a House, we should relook at our standing orders, Mr. Speaker, and give this House powers to pass a resolution to bar some of these characters from getting access to Parliament. Because it's a shame for that governor to walk to Parliament, line up media, without even the permission of the Speaker. You know what happened to former Speaker of the House of Commons, John Biko? He's the only Speaker in 200 years who was denied the power of peerage. He's not called a lord, and he does not get access to the House of Commons. People like Senator Sakaja should not come to take not photos. He frequents our bar here. We should bar him. He cannot come to take a drink in our beautiful bar here, but he cannot appear before a committee, Mr. Speaker, to answer to the audit queries that have been raised by the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the bill that has been moved by the Majority Leader, We have said, President Speaker, there are times we request for a few minutes to go and consult and reflect before we proceed with an order that is on the order paper. And the Senator knows, Senator Cheragei leader knows, that we went through that motion. Senator Cheruiyot, sorry. We went through that motion when we were discussing the fourth formula. We could adjourn for a few minutes, Mr. Speaker. We go, share among ourselves, then we come back. So I'm requesting you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that you allow the House to adjourn for a maximum of 20 minutes. We retreat as senators to consult before we transact on the business that has been moved by Majority Leader Speaker, sir. He has just introduced the motion.
Senator for Meru County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity also to weigh in on this matter, which is actually a matter of national interest. Mr. Speaker, when I was following up the proceedings from 2:30 p.m., as now a citizen, I was not in this floor. But, Honorable Speaker, all radios, all televisions are watching the Senate today. So, Mr. Speaker, when I approached the Senate as I was coming in, what is happening at the gate of the Senate is total shame, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, when I was at around 4:30, when I was walking out of this Senate, Mr. Speaker, I think all the international medias, all local medias, were just focusing. Even I asked, who is this VVIP who is coming out of the Senate? All cameras were glaring at this gentleman. Then I talked to one of the journalists. He told me we are waiting for Senator Sakaja to leave the Senate. Governor Sakaja to leave the Senate, former senator. Mr. Speaker, what is happening today again? Yesterday, okay, I felt it is okay, but today again, what is at the gate of the Senate is total shame, Mr. Speaker. And if we allow all these shenanigans to continue, then the Senate of the Republic of Kenya is in total shame. How can 29 governors fail to appear to the Senate CPAC committee? How? How can this happen? And they are walking the streets, appearing before, coming to the Senate to portray that they are even stronger, they are powerful than the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Who is this giving senators access to the Senate? These governors. When you are invited as a governor and you fail to attend the Senate sessions, and then you are given opportunity to come to offices, Mr. Speaker, this is total shame, Mr. Speaker, and I think you, with your authority, because you are our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Speaker, we want to convince the majority leader to drop this discussion today. I'm aware, Mr. Speaker, I'm aware there are counties that did appear before the CPIC. There are governors who appeared before CPIC. There are counties that are doing well, Mr. Speaker, but because of the national interest, the governor for Meru appeared before CPIC and CPAC and attended all those sessions, and they are really trying to see how they can also, Mr. Speaker, come. I even shared with them today that the CPIC, these are the observations and the conclusions that they have done, including CPAC, they have done the same, Mr. Speaker. Some counties have complied. But for the interest of this country, I cannot allow also Meru to be given this money when Nairobi is suffering. So, or Nandi, Kericho also did not comply. It's worse. Even senators that have come before us and impeachments are still out there trying to be bullies. So, Mr. Speaker, for the interest of the Republic of Kenya, and so that also we can be seen as the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, that is truly taking care of the interests of the counties that we have. Mr. Speaker, any business that belongs to the county governments, we put it down, and then we agree or disagree. Because the governor for Nairobi, Senator Sifuna, when he walked to the media, which he brought the media to the Senate. How can the governor bring all media houses, Mr. Speaker, to the Senate? Who has given him these powers to bring media houses to the Senate? How can he come? Mr. Speaker, also I was very frustrated today when Senator Sifuna was speaking to the media, and at the back of his, I saw him, the media is the National Assembly. He is a senator. Can we have also media house for the Senate? Media center for the Senate. So that when we are also discussing issues, yeah, Madam Commissioner, can we have media house for the Senate? As we have also the media house for the National Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to convince my brother, my younger brother, Senator Cheroyot, let us suspend, even if it means suspending Senate business in totality, so that we can be able to handle these governors. We need to really, we can't massage these governors, I'm telling you, honorable senators. Let us deal with them. Where's the Senator? Komundu. Man to man, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
The minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this particular bill has brought a bit of some interest. In my view, I'm looking for a way on how we can temporarily suspend this sitting. We adjourn this debate. And then we can reconvene maybe after 20, 30 minutes. And then I think with that direction, then we can know exactly what necessary directions we should take. Yeah.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the majority leader for accepting to listen to input from members on this matter. Mr. Speaker, it is your business to read the mood of the House. And if this bill continues to be debated, chances are it will actually collapse. That's what will happen. You don't want that to happen. The best thing to do is to withdraw the bill. Withdraw the bill. Mr. Speaker, I have no business advising the chair on what to do in such a time as this. But I know there is a motion that is coming up by Senator Ledama Olekina, which is very, very relevant to the issues that we are discussing on the behavior of the governors. Mr. Speaker, that would be the best motion to be brought here for us to deal with the wayward behavior of the governors. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I accompanied Senator Sifuna and a number of my colleagues out there. And Mr. Speaker, it's really a shame. It's really a shame what is happening in the precincts of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. That the governor of Samburu has the audacity to bring together more than 50 media houses to Parliament, Mr. Speaker, to Parliament, to speak ill about senators. Mr. Speaker, which is easier, to call the media out there or to appear before a Senate committee and respond to audit queries? Because, Mr. Speaker, this is something that we can't understand. And I want to, Mr. Speaker, address this because it's important. The senator for Wajir is here. The leadership of the Council of Governors has never been so incompetent and so downright low as it is now. Mr. Speaker, when you have a council as important as the Council of Governors, led by a governor whose understanding of Parliament is the buildings that he sees in the city center, Mr. Speaker, it's amazing. The people of Wajir
Mr. Speaker, I am embarrassed on behalf of the people of Wajir. Mr. Speaker, it was a great honor for the people of Wajir that the Council of Governors gave them the opportunity to lead this institution. But the governor who has been given that role is now ordering, and I'm wondering what happened to our former colleagues in the Senate. I'm just wondering what happened. Senator Sakaja used to do so well when we were here, Mr. Speaker. We used to look at him as the defender of devolution. Senator Irungu Kangata was very, very firm on devolution. Senator James Orengo was so firm on devolution. Senator Kiika Susan was doing so well. Senator Mutula Kilon, Senator Ochilo Ayako was the chair of CPAC at some point, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's amazing. It's just amazing. And what we are saying, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge our leader, the majority leader, to kindly just withdraw that bill on the division of. We cannot be discussing how we are going to give money to counties when the governors have decided they cannot account for what they have been given. We can't, Mr. Speaker. And even if it means, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, even if it means, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I spoke in defense of the people of Wajir. I never said anything wrong about the people of Wajir. I said they were given
Senator Abbas, what is your point of order?
It is actually so unfortunate that the senator for Kitui. Stop with that, stupid. 101, 102, whatever, 105. 105, Honorable Speaker. Can you stop interrupting me?
Senator Abbas, just proceed.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, the governor of Wajir is actually the chairman of governors. And yes, the governor of the chairman of the governors, COG chairman. And my governor, I have brought him here many times to speak and speak. He has appeared several times, Honorable Speaker. There is nothing to be ashamed of. It is if you guys have failed to commit him for his mistakes, then I have no responsibility for that.
Can you conclude, Senator Wambua? Order, Honorable
Mr. Speaker, for the record, Mr. Speaker, the senator of Wajir is not on trial. And the people of Wajir are not on trial. It is one individual called the governor of Wajir who has committed atrocities against this house. That is the man on trial, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying as I conclude is that, Mr. Speaker, there cannot be an exchange between me and the Senator of Wajir.
Proceed, Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas, kindly take your seat. Senator Abbas, take your seat.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas, take your seat. Senator Abbas, take your seat. Good. Conclude, Senator
Mr. Speaker,
Wambua.
let me conclude by saying this. That, Mr. Speaker, these governors, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the
Order.
governor of Wajir is being violated.
Senator Abbas, I order you to leave the chamber immediately for the remainder of the day.
Is this that serious?
Senator Abbas, leave the chamber immediately.
No, we can't behave this way. Gentlemen, we can't behave this way. We can't behave this way. Colleagues, we can't behave this way. We can't do this. We can't do this. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker.
Sergeant at Arms, kindly escort the Senator for Wajir out of the chamber.
So, Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying this.
that, Mr. Speaker, there is a serious concern. There's a serious concern, Mr. Speaker, on the matter of the funds that the governors have been put in charge of. That, Mr. Speaker, I think my point is made. Majority Leader, please withdraw the bill. Let's retreat and have a conversation about this bill. At a later date, we can debate it. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
For Nairobi City County.
You know, Honorable Speaker, the Majority Leader had requested me and a small group of senators to proceed to the place where the governor for Samburu was addressing the press so that we can escort him into the precincts of Parliament, our offices here, put him somewhere. Please, Honorable Speaker, I would not like to be heckled this afternoon. I'm in a foul mood.
Tahazana. May the Senator for Nairobi City County be heard in silence. You'll have your moment.
Thank you, Honorable
Proceed.
Speaker. Speaker, the reason I am saying I'm in a foul mood, I've actually been assaulted at the gate there, and I was going to get there. Mr. Speaker, when we arrived there, we found the governor of Samburu actually speaking to the press. And because you had asked that the sergeant at arms escort him to the police station, the sergeant at arms was already there. And Honorable Speaker, as honorable members, we asked him to walk with us into Parliament so that he can be taken where you had ordered him to be taken. One of his goons, Honorable Speaker, grabbed me by my coat. I don't say it's an expensive suit, but now it's ruined, Honorable Speaker. And were it not for Senator Eddy, I think I would have been found myself in a very difficult situation. Speaker, what we are saying is this. I think we need to stop making a mockery of this House. We need to stop making a mockery of devolution. We need to make a mockery, stop making a mockery of the processes that are constitutionally, required to be done. So, Majority Leader, I am asking myself, I personally am happy. I'm happy that I saw a letter from the governor of Nairobi saying he is now prepared to appear before the Committee of Public Accounts. But, Honorable Speaker, this decision not to appear before a specific committee of this House is a collegiate decision by the Council of Governors. And that is why I like what the Senator for Meru has said, that this is no longer about our individual counties. One of the things that I agree with the chair of the Council of Governors, the governor for Wajir, when he spoke yesterday, he said, in fact, the oversight mandate of this House is not upon individual governors. I, as a senator for Nairobi, it is not only me who is expected to oversight Nairobi. The governor of Meru, the governor of, yes, the governor of Meru, the governor of Samburu is also subject to my oversight as a member of this House. But where we differ is that the responsibility to account for money is an individual responsibility for them. My responsibility is to account to the people of Nairobi how I have been able to execute the mandate they gave me at the ballot. Honorable Speaker, the people of Nairobi have seen that I have exhausted everything, every single tool, including sending the IG of police to present my governor before the committee so that we can have conversations about those matters that we were highlighting yesterday. Speaker, when you talk about 21 billion shillings, that this House, not Sifuna, this House gives Nairobi 21 billion Kenya shillings. If the senator of Bungoma sitting in a committee cannot ask Sakaja questions about utilization of that resources, then how will I be able to convince you next time that you need to support me for more resources for Nairobi? So what we are saying is this. I think, honestly speaking, what is required now is some level of sobriety, some level of maturity, not from this House, but from the Council of Governors. We have had enough. You cannot subject this House to the sort of ridicule that we are seeing, that you come, you know very well, you are invited to a specific committee at a specific time, at a specific date, to discuss a specific matter. Then you bring a battery of journalists out here to tell them I am here and these people, there's nothing even I'm doing here. There's no one has asked me any question. That is not how we are supposed to relate. And intergovernmental relations are not supposed to be these acrimonious. So, Honorable Majority Leader, you have said you wanted to hear our wisdom. I am also saying, as the Senator of Nairobi, I am willing to say, let us drop that business of today so that we can be able to sort out all these problems. And Mr. Speaker, I just want finally to remind everyone that this House has not been intransigent in this impasse. In fact, I remember the Speaker of this House directing the Council of Governors that we are prepared to have a meeting as the leadership of this House with the leadership of the Council of Governors to iron out any concerns that they have. And the only condition was you cannot suspend a constitutional provision. All they needed to do is to attend those meetings for that week, and then we would have the meeting. But, Honorable Speaker, we cannot countenance a situation where somebody sitting somewhere can suspend a constitutional imperative. It is something we cannot do. So, I am hoping that the other governors will follow. And I've spoken to the chair of the County Public Accounts. I don't see him in the House today, but he's on his way. The vice chair is here. We are ready to issue a schedule as soon as tomorrow for people to come and account for the monies that they have done what? They have been given as county governors. And immediately that process is going on, we can come to this House and say, now, as the leadership, if they want to sit with you, the Speaker, if they don't like Sifuna's face, it's fine. This is not about Sifuna. And I have said and I've repeated here, there is no senator here who cannot do the job that Sifuna does. That's the reason why all of us were elected here. So if Sifuna's face at County Public Accounts Committee is somewhat unpleasant, we can try Senator Mundiki's face. I don't have a problem. Let us try Senator Joyce Korir. If they think Senator Joyce Korir will not ask about money being taken from Kipes to go and throw a bash for border borders, they are very mistaken. If they think Senator Korir will allow them to withdraw money from the county coffers so that they can throw a housewarming party like they did in Vihiga, it is not going to be possible. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine? They say we embarrass them there. A governor comes and his records are so bad that when he is asked to read them, he says he has forgotten his glasses at home because he knows if he reads that thing, he's going to be so ridiculous. Speaker, who is embarrassing who? Who is embarrassing who? This House only operates on two things, two reports. The report from the Auditor General is brought to us, and the responses from the governors. Your responses are so bad, you are embarrassed to read them. But somehow, Sifuna is the problem. So, Speaker, I agree with my colleagues who are saying...
Sifuna, would you wish to be informed?
By all means, this is Anjurin Cheke, Elder. He has some information.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, Senator for Nairobi is my good friend. And what has happened before that, the first yesterday, the report, the CPK report, the CPAC report has already departed from those committees. That report is now in this House, Mr. Speaker. So I want my friend, Senator for Nairobi, Senator Sifuna. Already the reports are property of the Senate. They have already departed from the committees. So, Mr. Speaker, what we need to do is to discuss these reports now as the Senate. Whatever we want to do with them, whatever we want to do with the governors, they should appear now before the Senate. They have already left the committees, Mr. Speaker. And if any governor should appear here the way CSCs appear before us, so that we can also interrogate them, we can be able, especially the 29, just a minute, especially the 29 governors who have really shown us the middle finger. We really need to deal with them perpendicularly, Honorable Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi City County, conclude your thoughts, please.
I wanted to conclude, Speaker, by saying that I agree with what the Senator of Meru is suggesting. And in fact, it will be good for the whole country. It will be good for the whole country to see for themselves the sort of amazing things that we are told in County Public Accounts Committee. When you ask somebody
to show you what they utilized money on and tell you that they gave supplements to wild animals. Wild animals who are being given special food, and there's children in this country going hungry. I want them to stand there and be live on all media stations and say those things. And say those things. Let us see if Sifuna is the problem. Let us see if Sifuna is the problem. So, Speaker, I want to very strongly say.
Order, Senator Fernandez.
I want to say, let us drop this business. We are amenable as a committee. None of this business is the property of any committee. It's the property of the House. So let us adopt the position that has been taken. But until we clear those 29, there is no single coin we are going to vote for to go to the counties. Thank you.
Senator Wakoli. Order, honorable senators.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii ambayo leo gavana ameponea chupu-chupu. Ndugu yangu Sifuna, ndugu yangu Eddie walikuwa wamembeba hobela. Gavana miguu ilikuwa imening'inia hewani, iliwachukua maafisa wake kumuokoa mikononi mwa maseneta. Lakini jambo linalosisitizwa Mheshimiwa Spika ni kwamba mtu hawezi kuoka mkate wake na kaula mwenyewe pasipo kuchungwa na kudadisiwa na tume ama taasisi kama jumba la Senate. Yale viongozi wanataja kuhusiana na usambarishaji ama kupora kwa pesa za kaunti, kupanda miche isiyohesabika, kulisha mifugo ambayo haitunzwi na watu ambao wako timamu mchana katika boma zao. Nimeshangaa Mheshimiwa Spika, sikujua kuna kaunti ambayo inafanya kazi kama idara ya wanyama wa misitu Mheshimiwa Spika, kwamba gavana huyu anawatunza fisi, mbweha, anawalisha na anaacha watoto wa Kenya wakipaza vinyo wakipiga mea. Mheshimiwa Spika, sitakubali, na wengi wamesema, na wengi wape Mheshimiwa Spika, tusiwape shilingi, ndururu ama noti. Wacha wakaukiwe kule kwenye kaunti, na Wakenya wajue tumewanyima fedha kwa sababu hawawezi kuwajibika na fedha za kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, wengi wamening'inia katika vazi la Mheshimiwa Rais. Mheshimiwa Rais anazindua miradi mingi katika kaunti. Hao magavana kila mahali wamenyosha vidole viwili, lakini mfukoni wamejaza pesa za Wakenya. Kile maseneta wanasema tutapekua mifuko yote, hata kama ni kuwavua nguo tuwavue, ili wabake uchi wa mnyama, ndio tujue wao ni waaminifu. Iwapo wanaweza kuja kwa malango ya Senate kwa kiburi, kedeli, madharau, Mheshimiwa Spika, hawa watu wakikutana na Wakenya usiku watawachinja peupe. Hatupaswi kuwahurumia, hatupaswi kuwapa nafasi yoyote kujidhihirisha kwa kwamba hawa ni watakatifu wakati huu mgumu wa kiuchumi. Na Mheshimiwa, kuna muasisi alisema, ukiona dikteta, ukiona mtu dhalimu, ukiona aliyekuwa mwizi anageuka na kubeba Biblia akisema njooni nyote, ufalme wa mbinguni umekuja, nitawatangulia niwafungulie njia. Mheshimiwa, jipange. Wao ambao wanakuja wakisema jinsi Mheshimiwa Sifuna akisema na Mheshimiwa Seneta Kio ati kwamba ati niruhusu tu nije kama Nikodemo. Mheshimiwa Spika, tusiwakubali. Waje tu mchana jinsi wanavyopora mchana, na sisi tuwanywe mchana kwa sheria za jumba la Senate. Naomba niungane na wengine, hatuwapi pesa, lazima wakamatwe. Na nimeshukuru Mheshimiwa kiongozi wa wengi, kwa mara ya kwanza Wakenya wamejua katiba inawaruhusu kukamata wezi na kuwakabidhi mikononi mwa taasisi za dola. Wakenya popote mlipo, mkiona hawa magavana, tusaidieni, muwakamate, muwapeleke katika kituo cha polisi kilicho karibu. Asante sana na Mungu awalinde. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Now, Majority Leader, Honorable Senators, if you look at your supplementary order paper, there is a motion that you will have to speak to it, and it touches on the matters that you want to speak. Senator Kavindu, there is a whole motion that awaits you. So that contribution you want to make now, reserve it to be made in that particular motion. Majority Leader, you wanted to tap the wisdom of your colleagues. I hope you are now wiser than it started. You may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues because this is not a simple matter. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Kavindu, the bill has not been moved. So proceed, Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I was saying this is a very serious matter, and these are moments that call for serious introspection. As a House, Mr. Speaker, why I requested that I be advised by my colleagues is because this is not just an issue about one or two governors. Mr. Speaker, when you have governors seated in Kilifi, enjoying expensive drinks, and perhaps doing things that you cannot mention even on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, then incite themselves that they shall cease appearing before the House of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, that is not a matter to be treated lightly. That is why I have been very clear from day one, Mr. Speaker, that if there is a matter that has touched the raw nerve of this House, it is this issue of the collective non-appearance by governors before the House of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell the governors, it doesn't matter which office you seek intervention from, and they know what I mean, Mr. Speaker. This is something that is non-negotiable for us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if my colleagues feel that a continued conversation on the division of revenue undermine our collective position of principle that respect to the constitutional order in this country is not something that is subject for debate, Mr. Speaker, then I defer to the wisdom of the House. I request, Mr. Speaker, that I be granted the opportunity to defer the moving of this bill until a later date, Mr. Speaker.
It is so deferred. Now, Honorable Senators, there is a supplementary order paper, which I believe has been posted in your gadgets. The chair will make a communication in that regard. Don't worry about it. Order, Honorable Senators, before I ask the clerk to call the next order, I have this communication to make. Senator Eddy and Senator for Kitui, kindly take your seat. Now, Honorable Senators, as you have witnessed, the conduct of Senator for Wajir County was grossly disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 122(1)J. In this regard, I invoke the provisions of Standing Order 122, 2A, which provides that a senator who commits an act of gross disorderly conduct on the first occasion, that senator shall be suspended from the presence of Parliament for a maximum of 3 sitting days, including the day of the suspension. The senator for Wajir is hereby suspended for 3 consecutive days, including today. Next order. Now, I want to believe that you are in receipt of the supplementary order paper. Senator Ledama, you may proceed to give notice of a motion.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to give notice of a motion, implementation of recommendation by Select Committee of County Public Accounts and County Public Investment and Special Funds on Auditor General Report for financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, aware that Article 96(1) and 3 of the Constitution mandates the Senate to represent counties, protect their interests, and oversee national revenues allocated to county governments, and that Article 2298 and the Public Audit Act require Parliament to debate audit reports and act within 3 months. Concerned that, despite repeated invitations and summons, 15 county governors define the Select Committee on CPAC and CPISF by refusing to appear and answer for financial management and accountability failures in the Auditor General Report for financial year 2024-2025 reports. Appreciating that CPAC and CPIC diligently interrogated the Auditor General issues, filed reports within constitutional timelines, and secured Senate approval on the 31st March of 2026. Noting that urgent needs for rigorous follow-up on these recommendations and ongoing Senate oversight of implementation. Now, therefore, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding Standing Order number 225, the Senate resolve that the Select Committee on CPAC and CPIC immediately track implementation of the Senate-approved recommendations and table monthly progress report detailing compliance status. 2, fast-track the next audit cycle by prioritizing Auditor General reports and county financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2026, tabling committee reports promptly to enable thorough senatorial scrutiny. Number 3, enforce fiduciary accountability by resummoning non-compliant county governors, recommending sanctions for defiance, including budget withholding under Article 229, and escalating unresolved cases to the Controller of Budget, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, or Director of Public Prosecution as appropriate. Number 4, collaborate with oversight bodies, that is the Controller of Budget, ESCC, and the DPP, to impose consequences under Chapter 6, Leadership and Integrity, for governors' failure to appear, including contempt charges, suspensions of county equitable share, personal liability for losses, and disqualification from future electoral candidacies.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 8, motion, implementation of the recommendations by select committees on county public accounts and county public investments and special funds on the Auditor General reports for the financial year 2024-2025.
Senator Lenda Molekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion. Just open. On the implementations of the recommendations by select committees of county public accounts and county public investment and special funds on Auditor General report for financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, aware that Article 96, 1 and 3 of the Constitution mandates the Senate to represent counties, protect their interests and oversee national revenue allocated to county governments, and that Article 2298 and the public audit requires Parliament to debate audit reports and act within 3 months, concerned that despite repeated invitations and summons, 15 county governors defied the Select Committee on CPAC and CPIC by refusing to appear and answer the financial mismanagement and accountability failures in the Auditor General financial year 2024-2025, appreciating that CPAC and CPIC diligently interrogated the Auditor General issues, file reports within constitutional timeline, and secure Senate approval on March 31st, 2026. Noting the urgency or the urgent need for rigorous follow-up on this recommendation and ongoing Senate oversight of implementation. Now, therefore, notwithstanding Standing Order 225, the Senate resolved that the Select Committee on CPAC and CPIC immediately, 1, track implementation of the Senate-approved recommendations and table monthly progress reports detailing compliance status. 2, fast-track the next audit cycle by prioritizing Auditor General reports on county financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2026, tabling committee reports promptly to enable thorough senatorial scrutiny. Number 3, enforcing fiduciary accountability by resummoning non-compliant county governors, immediately recommending sanctions for defiance, including budget withholding under Article 229, and escalating unresolved cases to the Control of Budget, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, or the Director of Public Prosecution as appropriate. Number 4, collaborate with oversight bodies, Control of Budget, ESCC, and the DPP to impose consequences under Chapter 6, the leadership and integrity, for governors' failure to appear, including contempt charges, suspensions of county equitable share, personal liability for losses, and disqualification from future electoral candidacy. Mr. Speaker, this issue where the governors have collectively boycotted the Senate, oversight is a bizarre assault on accountability. Mr. Speaker, all of us are brought here by the citizens of Kenya. Kenyans expect us to be able to report back to them on the issues of accountability. What we have been witnessing, Mr. Speaker, sir, is arrogance and total misunderstanding and misinterpretation of the Constitution and also laws that governs devolution. All of us here, Mr. Speaker, come here on a daily basis to be able to pass legislations that affect counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, a few minutes ago, we stopped. We requested the majority leader to hold the business of sending money to counties so that we can be able to, first of all, put a check mark on the issues of accountability. Every distinguished senator who has spoken here has spoken about arrogance. Mr. Speaker, these are young men and women who, before they became governors, were living in apartments. Some of them had small little huts that they called their homes. But today, Mr. Speaker, they live in manicured mansions. They drive $200,000 or $300,000 cars. mismanaging money. They traverse the entire country with helicopters, but when they are called to account for the money, they cannot. Mr. Speaker, this Senate only has this opportunity. And this is the time, Mr. Speaker, that I want each one of us here to be able to remember the powers that the citizens of Kenya donated to them to be able to ensure fiduciary responsibility. When you look at the citizens of Nairobi as an example, Mr. Speaker, there are over 800,000 who sent the distinguished senator of Nairobi, Edwin Watenya Sifuna, here to represent their interests. When you look at the citizens of Narok, there are over 1.5 million who sent me here to be able to represent their interest. Nairobi, there are over 4 million, but those who elected the distinguished senator were about 800. What do we go tell these people when the one person who has been tasked with the fiduciary responsibility failed to come to account for that money? You know, Mr. Speaker, this issue of governance, forgetting that leadership is a sacred trust which has been bestowed by the people, is something that we must remind them on a daily basis. And this is the occasion for each one of us here to be able to take their public audit records, they look at their Auditor General records in the executive, look at the special funds account to see how money is being utilized in the counties. It is very sad, Mr. Speaker, that governors are traversing this great country called Kenya with helicopters. Yet our people cannot be able to get their goods from the market, from their farms to the market. And the governors do not even know that those roads those roads are dilapidated. So, Mr. Speaker, this is an opportunity. And I want to speak to my colleagues that today, it doesn't matter whether we spend the night here, we burn the midnight oil, we must resolve to demand accountability from these, I don't even know whether to call them honorable anymore, 47 governors who has been tasked with a fiduciary responsibility. Mr. Speaker, one of my biggest pet peeves is that most of those governors do not even understand the Public Finance Management Act. And those people who work under them do not understand the consequences, intended and unintended, that will befall when they cannot account, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to my colleagues who are in those committees, narrating, demonstrating clearly the embarrassment that they are faced with when they are trying to analyze the documents that are presented by these county governors. And it begs the question, is it an issue of just rewarding mediocrity and ignoring meritocracy when it comes to the issue of employment? That you decide, I'm going to employ my relative to become the CC Finance, yet they don't even qualify to be able to hold that docket? Or is it that we don't really give a hoot in hell about this country? Mr. Speaker, today, for the sake of the future generation, I want to call upon all senators to be able to remember that the responsibility that you have been tasked with is to ensure accountability. Nothing else, Mr. Speaker. You know, there are a lot of stories that we hear. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to go on record and state here that when the governors made that statement, I did speak to the chair of COG. I spoke to him myself. And he said to me, there are so many issues that the governors were raising regarding the manner, the way they were treated. But what I deduced from my entire 30-minute conversation with my friend, the governor of Wajir, was that the issue was about respect. And in fact, I told him, my brother, smell the coffee. The moment you decide to put yourself out there to become a leader, the one thing that is required of you is to grow thick skin. If you cannot grow thick skin, you might as well just resign and go home and take care of the camels. All of us on a daily basis are insulted, Mr. Speaker. In fact, today, if you open your social media page, you will hear all manner of things that are being said. If I was to listen to that, Mr. Speaker, my blood pressure would be at 300 over 120 or 150. And I'll be sent to the morgue. But I remind myself that I am here. And the fact that I put myself out there to be scrutinized, all those insults will come. So I want us to divorce the notion that this so-called Council of Governors collectively can be able to support one individual. Mr. Speaker, when my brother Sifuna walked in, he narrated to me the way my other brother took off, you know, and I wondered what kind of a warrior my brother is to run off and take off instead of facing the consequences. Mr. Speaker, I would have stood there and faced the consequences, Mr. Speaker. You know, the challenge we have, Mr. Speaker, is the issue that we forget what, Mr. Speaker, the problem with us, Mr. Speaker, is that we forget that.
No, honorable senators, Senator Olekina Ombiand in silence, total silence. This is a matter of national importance.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your protection. Mr. Speaker, let me not forget the point that I wanted to raise, which is a very important point. Mr. Speaker, all of us, and I hope that the 47 or 67 men and women who are sitting here will never forget that power is transit. Today you are powerful, the most powerful person on earth. Tomorrow you are not. When you are tasked with a fiduciary responsibility, the first thing you need to do is to thank your God for having put you there. Because imagine, Nairobi County as an example. There are so many other Kenyans who would have become a governor of Nairobi. But God put you there. But instead of you adhering to the fiduciary responsibility and accounting and being ready to account, you are growing bigger balls than you can ever carry. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the biggest bizarre, experience that I've experienced personally. Seeing, the way people behave. It's as if they will remain as governors forever. Mr. Speaker, this is a democracy. The moment we allowed ourselves to subscribe to the Constitution, we remember very well that we are limited. There is a statute of limitation. You can only be a governor for 10 years. It will be embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, when you retire and you go and sit down in your manicured mansion, you will not even get a single citizen visiting you. Because when you were in power, what you did was to subject them to a sentence of poverty, where when they go to their hospital, they are not drugged. They cannot even walk to the market because there are potholes. There's no vehicle that agrees to go to that road. And even the borders don't even want to go there. And even citizens themselves, when they are walking, they can barely find an escape to be able to go to the market. So, Mr. Speaker, today, what we are witnessing from, in fact, in the last 2 days, is just political theatric, which must come to an end. And this is why it is important that we remind ourselves, because all of us are here, and we are guided by the rule of law. The Constitution. I've alluded to Article 96, which gives us the mandate to oversight these counties and protect the interests of the county. Today, Mr. Speaker, this motion has been brought for us to be able to protect the interests of our counties by demanding accountability. That is issue number one. Issue number two, Mr. Speaker, I heard my good friend, the IG of police, saying to my good committee of PAC that show me, just tell me when you want me to be able to bring that governor here, and I shall bring. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that what I witnessed were my good friends, the police, outside Nairobi City Hall. And then the next day, I see the governor of Nairobi taking pictures, going with a cameraman taking pictures. What happened, Mr. Speaker, to the IG of police? And I'm going to call him after this and ask him, Ero, what happened to you? You said that you will be able to bring this gentleman here. What happened? You chickened out or what? What is the biggest problem? You know the problem, Mr. Speaker, is that all of us, and I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but sometimes we have to remember that we have a fiduciary responsibility. It is wrong, Mr. Speaker, for the IG or police not to deliver on what they promised under oath when they appeared before the committee. It is wrong, Mr. Speaker, for me to witness my good friend Senator Governor Orengo coming in, and he was among the first person. Mr. Speaker, I sat here with Orengo next to him. He taught me, he guided me very well on the importance of respecting the rule of law. And when he appeared, I was shocked, Mr. Speaker. I don't understand what it takes when you become a governor. All of a sudden, you forget that you are supposed to be accountable. Mr. Speaker, I think it's about time that we ask ourselves whether this constitution is the right constitution. Because, Mr. Speaker, if I was the president of Kenya today, I will rule this country with an iron fist and ensure that there's proper accountability. We cannot answer to our citizens in the country who are crying, who do not have medicines, who cannot be able to support themselves, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to end with the following 5 points, which are very, very key. That it behooves all of us here to be able to hold our county governors accountable. I want to request ESCC, because recently I met with the ODPP. And the ODPP told me, I cannot do anything without ESCC. Either we agree to collapse these two entities and make them one because of the issue of prosecutory powers, or define, when it comes to the issue of accountability, give ESCC prosecutory powers. Mr. Speaker, point number two, and this is something that all of us must be able to think today. When you look at other jurisdictions, Mr. Speaker, there are so many appropriations acts. Maybe it's about time that in this country, and particularly, either we amend the Constitution so that when we are moving the budget, the Senate plays a critical role in terms of appropriations, such that we've got appropriations bills that will proceed whether there's accountability or not. This issue of collapsing all appropriation into one form of budget is what is taking us back to the dogs. Because the county knows that even though we fight so hard and say that we will stop money from going, the Constitution bars, it limits the period to 3 months. So we need to rethink the issue of Appropriations Act in this country. Number two, Mr. Speaker, we need to also think generally, because today we are about to discuss the issue of division revenue. We need to relook at Article 223 of the Constitution of Kenya when it comes into the issue of money being spent without approval of Parliament. It is about time that we take this opportunity, distinguished senators from both sides of the aisle, to be able to redefine this country for future generations. Look at the Constitution, see the loopholes which are there, which these guys are easily able to bypass for them to be able to get what they want. If today, and I want to remind you, this is my third point, if today, Mr. Speaker, we agree to discuss the division of revenue, the moment we discuss the division of revenue and we pass it, done. It goes to the National Assembly, and from the National Assembly, it proceeds for the money to go. And the Constitution is very clear. Read Article 219. A share of revenue of a county shall not be, delayed. It has to be released. But that only comes in after we have passed this issue of the division of revenue. So my plea to all of us is that we stop this debate on division of revenue until all county governors have appeared before the Senate to be able to respond to the queries that has been asked. Point number 4, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, it is imperative that these oversight bodies, the Auditor General, ESCC, and ODPP, work together, Mr. Speaker. It is embarrassing that every time you speak to ESCC, they tell you, oh, there's nothing we can do. Or what we are witnessing, a charade of cases being dropped from the high courts because there was the investigation was not carried out properly. This is what is encouraging this issue of corruption. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, this House must send an unmistakable message that accountability is non-negotiable. The Senate powers of the past must be exercised, and this is the opportunity that we have. Without this opportunity, I don't know how to spell it out. Maybe I'll speak in Swahili and Kimasai for you to understand. This is the only opportunity that we have to be able to demand accountability. With all those so many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Majority Leader to second.
Before the Majority Leader seconds, I want to make this communication of the visiting members of Maendeleo ya Wanawake from the constituency in Homa Bay County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of members of Maendeleo ya Wanawake from the constituency in Homa Bay County. The delegation is in the Senate on a courtesy call to Senator Beatrice Ogora MP. Honorable Senators, in our short tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you. Senator Beatrice Ogora, in 1 minute, kindly welcome the visitors so that we can proceed to the seconding of the motion.
That I come forward. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving the great women of Ndewa constituency of Homa Bay County the opportunity to come to the Speaker's Gallery. Honorable Speaker, the illustrious women that are here this afternoon are women of this country who believe in this country going forward. And Honorable Speaker, these are women who believe in the leadership of even this House, and that is why they have been patient here. I want to recognize that these are great leaders from my constituency, led by Councillor Dorcas Matunga, who was the chair of the County Council of Homa Bay then, before the coming of the counties. We have Councillor Dorcas Atito, we have Councillor Caroline Oguta, we have the chairperson Grace Awidi, Roslyn Ogada, Doris Obondo, Margaret Odongi, Siprosa Apopo, Millicent Anyango, Helida Otieno, and Rusula Odida. Honorable Speaker, these are women who come from all the 7 wards of my constituency. And I have a lot of relation with them, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my late father taught me something that was very wise, that has kept me in this country going. That we must be humble at the mountaintop, that we must be strong at the valleys. In between, you have to have faith. And Honorable Speaker, the women you see today are women we have walked with in the valley, strong together. And so I celebrate them and I welcome them to the Senate And I still believe in you, and I'm one of you, and I'm proud of you, and the Speaker equally is proud of you. Honorable Speaker, if you allow, I want also to welcome them and give a welcoming remark from my senator, Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang, who equally believes in you, and I know you believe in him. And together with Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang, and the party leader, who is a member of this House, a man who believes in power, I can assure you, the great women of Ndewa, that we are still going forward to Singapore with power. Honorable Speaker, I donate 30 seconds to Senator Eddie Okech on behalf of Senator Moses Kajwang to welcome
Beatrice
them.
Ogora.
Thank you, and come again. Thank you, Honorable
Senator
Speaker.
Beatrice Ogora. Only one thing that I can do as the chair is to recognize the chair of the delegation to stand up so that the Senate can recognize the chair of the delegation. You mentioned her name?
Heading the delegation.
Sorry, mention her name?
Grace Awidi, who is the chair.
That's good enough. Thank you very much, Chair. I also, the chair of this session believes in you. Gracious Rendes from your constituency. And I was in Diwa some years back when the daughter to Senator Kiraitu was married in Diwa. Also the Member of Parliament for South Imantwe represented as the Senate, as the Member of Parliament. Also the daughter is married in Diwa constituency. So Diwa are my in-laws, so I didn't recognize them. They know in person, so I don't want to dilute my recognition to them with the Senator Okech. So that is good enough. So let me get the majority leader to second the motion.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't know the people of Diwa are your in-laws. You know, Senator Eddie has been trying to catch your attention. So I was wondering whether, if there is in-laws, Mr. Speaker, then we can allow him to talk. But, Mr. Speaker, then how can we allow a bachelor to address distinguished... Mr. Speaker.
Proceed and second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This motion has generated a lot of interest, so therefore it has really saved time.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion brought by my colleague, Senator Ledama, which every senator that minds the affairs of this House and values devolution should take time to speak to, but not just speak to, reflect about it and what it means for this House. Mr. Speaker, we must first begin by asking the question, how did we find ourselves here? We found ourselves here, Mr. Speaker, and I'll repeat for the 18th time, because governors went on a whirlwind trip in Kilifi, and while they were enjoying whatever they were enjoying, incited themselves and said that there is a committee of the Senate that is not treating us with the dignity that we deserve. We feel they are unkind to us, and so many other things that they have mentioned. And they came with the silliest ideas that has ever left the minds of Council of Governors, that they shall not appear before the County Public Accounts Committee. And since that particular day, things have not been okay, Mr. Speaker. I read it for what it is since that particular day, Mr. Speaker, that this is a direct attack to the very heart and soul of the Senate. And as leader of majority, Mr. Speaker, I have been fairly consistent on this matter, perhaps more than anything else, Mr. Speaker, that this is not something that we can even countenance, Mr. Speaker. Because, unfortunately, for some of us, for the little years that we have lived on this earth, the only institution that we've had the very rare opportunity to infuse our thoughts and share in the philosophy of what it will become in years to come by, it is this House of the Senate, Mr. Speaker. And some of us are not in a hurry to leave this House, so long as the people continue to have the trust and the will to allow us to come into this House, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, we must guard this institution by everything that we believe in. Mr. Speaker, when the Council of Governors raised the issues that they raised, we responded like diligent citizens are expected to do. We mentioned to them and said, while we hear what you're saying, that is not the procedure. Appearance before a parliamentary committee is not a buffet, Mr. Speaker, where you pick what you like and you leave what you don't like, Mr. Speaker. This is a mandatory exercise to which you must undertake so long as you interact with public resources, Mr. Speaker. And there is sufficient backing constitutionally, Mr. Speaker, edits of law, Mr. Speaker, and even advisories from the highest courts of the land, Mr. Speaker. Because this is not the first time that we are finding ourselves here. Governors have even attempted to go all the way to the Supreme Court. It took the judges of the Supreme Court to remind them that appearance before the Senate, Mr. Speaker, is mandatory and expected of any individual that interacts with public resources, Mr. Speaker. And so we responded in kind and said, good people, we don't know what it is that you feel so much offended by our colleagues who serve in County Public Accounts Committee, but be that as it may, as a principle, we cannot allow you to select which committee of the House you appear before. I have spoken more than 5 or close to 10 times to none other than including the chair of the Council of Governors, my good friend Governor Ahmed. And I have told him that there is a principle that I'm willing to die for. We cannot allow any individual, Mr. Speaker, to dictate and direct the operations of this House other than the decisions that are made on the presence of this House. And therefore we asked our colleagues, governors, that come, appear, respond to the queries, then later on present your petition to the leadership of the House. We will listen to you. Many times people do this. Mr. Speaker, for your information, every Wednesday morning, just like today, we have cabinet secretaries appearing before this House. Mr. Speaker, there are days in which for one reason or the other, they are not able to appear. And they send in letters. Sometimes even those documents come in fairly late. But because we are leaders and we understand the demands of the high office that many of them hold, Mr. Speaker, we grant them the latitude. Therefore, we are not an obstinate institution. Nobody can accuse us, Mr. Speaker, that we are unreasonable in this exercise. We told our colleagues, appear, then we will have this conversation. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, some of them cheekily saw a silver lining and an opportunity for them. And I suspect, dear colleagues, that the 29 governors who chose not to appear are actually the originators of this silly idea of non-appearance, Mr. Speaker. And the reason why they came up with that idea is because the Auditor General did a fantastic job in the audit process of 2024-2025, insofar as exposing all the risks, exposing all the messes that are in our county governments, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, many of them saw this as the perfect opportunity to run away from accountability. And they use this excuse saying, oh, we had a collegiate agreement. Mr. Speaker, those are the gentlemen and the ladies, Mr. Speaker, that incited their colleagues and said, we shall not appear because they knew what awaited them. Each of our colleagues that serves in that committee, together with us that attend every time a governor from the counties that we represent in this House are appearing, Mr. Speaker, we're waiting for the opportunity to listen to county governors give an explanation of how they have interacted with public resources. I said here yesterday, Mr. Speaker, that some of us believe in doing oversight differently. For all the years that I have served as a senator, in fact, to the detriment sometimes of my own political career, Mr. Speaker, I avoid discussing public finances and audit queries, Mr. Speaker, in public gatherings in my county. I try and rise above board. Many times, in fact, people submit or observe that as a weakness. But I have always known that there is granted to me a premium platform here in Parliament where the governor comes, appears, and there are questions based on a document that we didn't originate as a Senate. The Senate does not audit county governments. We only respond to issues that are raised by auditors, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we were waiting for this perfect opportunity. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, what happened happened. This matter is now considered settled, in my humble opinion. Because if you don't respond to queries that you have been asked, it simply means you agree with the findings of the Auditor General. And that is a report that we passed yesterday at 6:30, Mr. Speaker. It is now upon the various state agencies, Mr. Speaker, and if you read Resolution 4 of this motion, Mr. Speaker, that the Senate resolves to actually collaborate with other institutions of oversight, the Controller of Budget, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the DPP. The only one that we forgot to add, Mr. Speaker, is the judiciary. Because the judiciary is also part and parcel of the institutions of oversight, Mr. Speaker. I personally believe that the only day, Mr. Speaker, for which this madness that exists in our county will come to a stop is the day governors will get pictures of one of their colleagues, Mr. Speaker, getting fit to dress in those prison uniforms. Mr. Speaker, that is the day people will realize that this is not a matter of child's play, Mr. Speaker. But so long as people know they can go to the ESCC, they explain themselves. If it moves to the DPP, you can have some political interference with it. Once it gets to the court, you understand how all these things happen, Mr. Speaker? You are not a stranger in Kenya. Therefore, we need to call upon all these institutions of oversight that we must work together to protect public resources. Devolution is so premium and dear to the people of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Devolution is perhaps the only best gift that the people of Kenya gifted themselves in 60 years since independence. It's the only meaningful thing that many parts of this country, perhaps the remotest parts of this country, the closest thing that they interact to government services is the little resources that we send to them, Mr. Speaker. And so long as we continue to read the reports that are being presented before us, Mr. Speaker, you must be worried. Mr. Speaker, we must get concerned. And I say this as somebody who has served in this house for quite a long time. When we came here in the first Senate, Mr. Speaker, I don't recall reading the kind of absurd audit reports as what I'm reading today. Mr. Speaker, in the first Senate, we only used to joke every afternoon, Senator Mazai will remember, about the golden fingerlings of Tharaka Nithi, where Governor Rangwa, Mr. Speaker, if you recall that particular moment, he is rumored to have bought fingerlings in somewhere, Mr. Speaker, worth millions of shillings. And when the auditors visited the county, he directed them to the river. I don't know what was the name of the river. If the senator for Tharaka Nithi was here and told them, please go and check if the fish are still there. And perhaps the non-carcinogenic wheelbarrows of Bungoma. And those remains to be the only absurd things that you'd hear during that first 5-year cycle. And when we came hard on oversight, the next phase, Mr. Speaker, you could see that governors were beginning to take shape. They were beginning to behave as expected, Mr. Speaker, or people interacting with public resources. And so many of the absurd things that you'd seen in the previous years, these are matters that we had forgotten. But to read this report that is being presented to us today, Mr. Speaker, where you're being told that there are governors that are feeding wild animals, and when auditors visiting them, they're saying, go and interact and check how many kgs of meat they fed on, Mr. Speaker. That there are people hosting house parties using public resources, Mr. Speaker. That there is diversion of funds, wanton disregard, Mr. Speaker, to the provisions of public finance, Mr. Speaker. It is something that must concern us. Yet, look at how the governors are behaving when they come before these committees. That somebody can easily joke and say, I've forgotten my reading glasses. Mr. Speaker, surely we cannot allow this kind of nonsense to continue. Much as we know, Mr. Speaker, that we engage each other as leaders level, surely the kind of conduct, and these are the things that we are waiting to raise, because I believe at some point we will get that opportunity where we will sit down with the Council of Governors and they'll say these are the issues that we have. And we'll also tell them that these are the very issues that we equally have with you people. Do they speak to themselves as colleagues? Do they reason together and tell each other that this is not expected of you as a county governor? In the things that when you come before the Senate, you must prepare well. You must at least know a few basic issues. I have seen governors, Mr. Speaker, who the only response that they give to their committee or public accounts committee is to turn in the chair and say, oh, ask that one, ask this one, ask the other one. Completely clueless, Mr. Speaker, on the operations in their own county. They cannot even explain, Mr. Speaker, very basic issues. Yet, they want to point fingers at Public Accounts Committee and say, oh, this and that has been done, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, that meeting we are looking forward to. And our colleagues in leadership, the governor should not imagine for any minute that the Senate is not interested in listening to their concerns. We equally have questions that we want to ask you. Even just at the very least, leader to leader level, to find out from you whether you are not equally concerned the way the rest of the country is. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, because I know so many of our colleagues want to say something on this matter, and I can see time is far much spent, I wouldn't wish to take a lot of time. I'd wish to agree with the findings of this motion, particularly on resolution number 4, on collaborating with the agencies of oversight to follow through with what we passed yesterday in the afternoon, Mr. Speaker, so that should it ever appear in the mind of any governor in future to choose not to appear before Senate, they will think twice about it, Mr. Speaker. This should serve as a lesson to the 29 governors, Mr. Speaker. You know, and we are just talking about 29 governors. I wish I had the list, Mr. Speaker, because up to now, I feel the citizens of this country are yet to appreciate. Who are these people that we are talking about, Mr. Speaker? We must laud the 16 governors who found time to appear, even with all the challenges in the county. At least they submitted themselves to the authority of Parliament and said, I know this happened, but I value this. But to the 29 fugitives, Mr. Speaker, the day of reckoning must surely come. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Honourable Senator, Senator Ososi. So, no, freeze. You know you are a seasoned legislator. You don't need to run up and down to sit down. Honourable Senators, I propose the question that aware that Article 96(1) and 3 of the Constitution mandates the Senate to represent the counties, protect their interests, and oversee national revenue allocated to county governments, and that Article 229, Subarticle 8, and the Public Audit Act require Parliament to debate audit reports and act within 3 months. Concerned that despite repeated invitations and summons, 15 county governors defined the select committees on CPAC and CPIC by refusing to appear and answer for financial mismanagement and accountability failures in the Auditor General's financial year 2024-25 reports, appreciating that the CPAC and the CPIC diligently interrogated the Auditor General's issues, found the reports within constitutional timelines, and secured the Senate approval on that 1st March 2026. Noting the urgent need for rigorous follow-up on these recommendations and ongoing Senate oversight of implementation. Now, therefore, notwithstanding Standing Order 2025, the Senate approves that the select committees of CPAC and CPIC immediately 1. Track implementation of the Senate-approved implementations and recommendations and the table monthly progress reports detailing compliance status. 2. Fast-track the next audit cycle by prioritizing Auditor General's reports on county financial statements for the year ending 30th June 2026, tabling committee reports promptly to enable thorough senatorial scrutiny. And 3, enforce fiduciary accountability by resummoning non-compliant county governors, recommending senators sanctions for defiance, including budget withholding and Article 229, and escalating unresolved cases to the Control of Budget, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on Director of Public Prosecutions as appropriate. And 4, collaborate with the oversight bodies, Control of Budget, EACC, and DPP to impose consequences under Chapter 6, which is leadership and integrity for governors' failure to appear, including contempt charges, suspension of county equitable share, personal liability for losses and discrimination from future electoral candidates. Out of order, the chair, or who is out of order? Proceed, yeah, fine. Proceed, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Standing Order 111, limitation of debate. The Senate may, on a motion made by any senator in accordance with this standing order, impose a limit in respect to debate on any particular motion or bill by allowing a limited period of time for such debate, or by limiting the time during which senators may speak in such debate, or by imposing such limitation. So I will request, Honorable Speaker, that if we can do 10 minutes, or we can do 5, or we can do 20. You can look at the watch so that we agree, so that many of us can be able to ventilate. Senator Onyonka, I request that you do second.
Senators, the House can only arrive at a consensus because of the interest to limit, maybe to reduce it lower.
On this specific motion of this nature, sponsored by a member, the House didn't resolve that we do 15 minutes each member. But if we agree on any other minutes, time that you might decide, then what is the mood of the House? 10 minutes? Yeah, because most senators would really like to speak on this important matter. So if we have consensus, yes, Senator Sifuna?
Speaker, we had also agreed that those of us who had previously spoken earlier, we don't speak again, so that we allow our colleagues to also speak.
Yeah, sure. So 10 minutes, we don't need to put the question. That is a matter that we have beyond consensus. So next is Senator Omogeni. Congo Omogeni Eric. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And as much as possible, senators, every senator should use the 10 minutes without any interruptions.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I want to go on record that I support the motion that has been moved by my good friend, Senator of Narok. Mr. Speaker, the action of the 29 governors who did not appear before this Senate must have consequences, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this House, under Article 125 of the Constitution, has been given powers equivalent to the High Court of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you go to the High Court of Kenya,
the technical team can just give us a better sound.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, if you are taken to the High Court of Kenya and accusations are made against you, Mr. Speaker, and you are given an opportunity to defend yourself, if you don't defend yourself, Mr. Speaker, it means that you accept all the accusations that have been leveled against you. Mr. Speaker, see.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I take in, Mr. Speaker, that the Office of Auditor General is an office that has been created by our Constitution, Mr. Speaker. This House is a creation of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, and therefore all the governors that did not respond, Mr. Speaker, to the accusations that were leveled against them are guilty as charged, Mr. Speaker. For my count, for example, Mr. Speaker, the county government of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, and I want the people of Nyamira to hear this. The governor, Mr. Speaker, collected a total of 606 million shillings for Facilities Improvement Fund, Mr. Speaker. The findings of the auditor, Mr. Speaker, are to the effect that the governor was
all
only...
senators, can you kindly consult in low tones?
Mr. Speaker, the governor was
to allow
only
the
able...
Senator for Nyamira to prosecute his 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, was only able to account for 549 million shillings, 78,722. Meaning, Mr. Speaker, from the findings of the Auditor General, the governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, has stolen or misappropriated from the poor patients who went to hospitals and paid money to be treated a total of 57,528,831, Mr. Speaker. And I'm urging the people of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, to give these governors sleepless nights. They should proceed to court and sue him to refund this money personally to the county government accounts of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, because he has not offered any explanation, Mr. Speaker, to this Senate. Mr. Speaker, you will be shocked, Mr. Speaker, that the auditor has made a finding, Mr. Speaker, that the governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, has paid a contractor duplicate payments, Mr. Speaker. If you read page 2 of the auditor's report, Mr. Speaker, it says, and I hope the EACC and the DCI are listening, Mr. Speaker, that the county executive irregularly processed and authorized duplicate payments amounting to shillings 8,719,000 to the same contractor for identical scope of work that had already been paid. What better criminals do we have in our counties, Mr. Speaker, than such, Mr. Speaker? It is shocking when you go to the county government of Kitui, Mr. Speaker, that the governor has allocated for personal operations of his office a total of 2.4 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. I can't understand how these governors behave, Mr. Speaker. 2.4 billion, Mr. Speaker, in Kitui could have bought seedlings for farmers, Mr. Speaker. People of Kitui, Mr. Speaker, the governor could have even chosen to buy chicken or goats and give the people of Kitui, Mr. Speaker. I was waiting for the governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, to appear before us and to tell us how he transported 33 bodies to a morgue in Kericho, Mr. Speaker. And then when he was asked, Mr. Speaker, he tells the country that I only loaded 13 bodies. Then he says that he cannot understand how 20 others boarded. Since when did dead bodies start boarding a vehicle to take themselves to Kericho? Did you listen, Senator of Kericho? He said he can't understand how 20 bodies boarded a vehicle and ended up in Kericho, in a cemetery in Kericho, Mr. Speaker. Instead of coming to tell us, Mr. Speaker, what steps he's taking as governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we have a cemetery. Instead, it does not even appear before this House, Mr. Speaker, to tell us why is he shaming and embarrassing the people of the county of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. Those are the things we could have wanted to hear from these governors, Mr. Speaker. Look at the case of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. How can a governor allocate 15 million for soft drinks? How much does a bottle of soda cost? How much does a bottle of water cost, Mr. Speaker? How many bottles or liters of Fanta or Coca-Cola or Sprite has this governor consumed in one financial year? To tell us that you have spent 15 million shillings when hospitals, Mr. Speaker, in Nyamira have no medicine, Mr. Speaker. Then the auditor is telling us, Mr. Speaker, that the governor of Nyamira has spent 2 million shillings to buy tires, 4 tires for his vehicle. Mr. Speaker, since when did one tire cost 500,000 shillings? Where is that? Where is that, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, and as he's doing this, Mr. Speaker, hospitals in Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, have not been completed and there is no medicine, Mr. Speaker. You read the auditor's report, and I'm not doing politics here. I'm just following what is in the auditor's report, Mr. Speaker. The auditor is telling us, Mr. Speaker, even a construction of an eye hospital in Nyamwetureko, Mr. Speaker, in West Mogirango, Mr. Speaker, that's where my placenta is, West Mogirango. Mr. Speaker, that hospital has remained incomplete, Mr. Speaker, despite the governor having paid 15 million shillings for construction of that hospital. Listen to this, Mr. Speaker. 32 million shillings was set aside to supply water to households in Nyamira. What did the governor do? Instead, Mr. Speaker, the governor decided to pay this money to certain individuals. Wilson Nyaboga Nyangau was paid 244,000 shillings to do feasibility study, Mr. Speaker. Another one, Vincent Kipsang Cheruyot, I don't know whether this one hails from Senator Cheruyot's count, was paid 279,500, Mr. Speaker, to facilitate training. Which training? Mr. Speaker, if you read the document from the auditor, all that money, not even a coin, was used to supply water to any household. It was used, Mr. Speaker, instead for feasibility studies, facilitation of workshops. It is, what a shame to this governor, Mr. Speaker. When he appeared before the Senate, Mr. Speaker, for the first time, the only question he was asking, Mr. Speaker, Senator Sifuna just raised a statement and said, Governor, tell us, why did you pay this person called Daniel Nyakundi 860 shillings? He said, Chairman, I've become sick. Before senators, in the committee, he said, I've become sick. Since when, Mr. Speaker, if you are a sick person, do you come before senators to tell them you are sick, or you should have gone to hospital, Mr. Speaker? This is just a way of evading accountability, Mr. Speaker. And I'm demanding, Mr. Speaker, next time these governors appear before us, it should be before a committee of the whole. Finally, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, Senator, Majority Leader, we should benchmark from what happens in Australia. Parliamentary Privileges Act that was enacted by the Parliament of Australia in 1987 has given the House powers to detain any witness or any person who appears before the House for a period of 6 months, Mr. Speaker. What happened this afternoon, Mr. Speaker? Instead of the Speaker sending the Sergeant at Arms to arrest the governor for Samburu, he should just have decreed that I've ordered that you be locked up for the next 1 week, Mr. Speaker. So we must move with speed and amend the Parliamentary Privileges Act, Mr. Speaker, to put that power the way the Australian government has done. They did it in 1987 because of an experience they went through. We must also move with speed, Mr. Speaker, and do it. And finally, Mr. Speaker, anybody who is a former member of this House who shows contempt to this House, Mr. Speaker, should not have the privilege of walking to this House as and when they wish and do what Governor of Samburu attempted to do. Mr. Speaker, we should reserve the power to say, if you are in contempt of this House, Mr. Speaker, there are certain privileges you will not enjoy. I support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Very well, very well. Next is Senator Chalagay Samson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. From the onset, I want to support this motion by Senator Ledama Olekina. I think this is the right direction, Mr. Speaker, that we should take. I think, Mr. Speaker, after the resolution yesterday, we need now to put DCI, EACC, Controller of Budget, and DPP now on toes for the recommendations that we passed yesterday, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be, Mr. Speaker, I want to begin from where Senator of Nairobi left, that I saw the chair of COG saying that the Public Accounts Committee is embarrassing them. When a governor in Kericho, who is called Dr. Krom locally there, says that he bought a tissue paper, a single tissue paper for 3,000 shillings. Is it right? When a governor of Kericho buys, and this is according to the Office of the Auditor General report, buys a soda of 500 ml with 2,000 shillings. Is it in order, Mr. Speaker? Is it in order? Are we embarrassing them or they are embarrassing themselves, Mr. Speaker? If a governor does a housewarming of 5 million Kenya shillings in Vihiga, is it not they are embarrassing themselves, not us, we are embarrassing them, Mr. Speaker? If a governor in Bungoma in November buys 3.6 million worth of Christmas tree, is he embarrassing himself or embarrassing us? Shame on them, Mr. Speaker. If a governor in Mandera purchases seedlings of 55 million in a dry area instead of doing water tracking? Is it himself embarrassing himself or us we are embarrassing him, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, if a governor in the COG get monthly, every financial year, and that is why all the close of the chair of COG was coming out. Are you aware in our reporters pack, we found that every county is paying 5 million illegal subscription fees to COG, a club of blunderers, a club of gossip, a club of impunity against the law and fugitive of justice. Do you want us to celebrate them? Are we embarrassing them, Mr. Speaker? If a governor in Migori is hiring what we call sangueñas to be the cheerleaders in a function, Mr. Speaker, do you want us to celebrate? In Machakos, a young man by the name Kyoko, who is being owed by the county 19 million for supplying uniform, is lying in bed for simply demanding for justice. Mr. Speaker, counties are owed, and the chair of PAG yesterday said, close to 30 billion to most of our businessmen and women in our counties. Businesses are dying, Mr. Speaker. Do you want us to be nice to governors? Do you want us to give them Christmas cards or love cards or them to send them emojis of beauty, Mr. Speaker? We cannot, we should not allow, Mr. Speaker. When a governor, Mr. Speaker, in Wasingishu, Mr. Speaker, employs 765 casuals, ghost workers, who are paid manually, and most of them are used as political goons. You want us to treat them and call them the excellencies? Even if they are called excellencies, there is nothing excellent about them. Mr. Speaker, there is nothing excellent. When you saw the governor of Machakos, he bought milk and branded her face on the milk, Mr. Speaker. You want us to celebrate them and give them flowers and give them chocolates, Mr. Speaker? When the governor of Siaya, who used to pride himself as the working constitution, violates Article 10 on national values and principles of good governance, Article 172 on objects of devolution, Chapter 13 on principles of public finance, Mr. Speaker, and Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity, and comes and say, I will not speak before the committee. I don't want to be held accountable because some illegal outfit called COG has said they will not appear before the Senate. It's embarrassing, Mr. Speaker. And when you go to such counties, for example, in Wasingishu, Mr. Speaker, just quickly, they put 10 parcels of land worth 129,150,000 Kenyan shillings without verification. A direct, outright rip-off of the money in Wasingishu, Mr. Speaker. Not Kitui. Kitui, they are stealing sand. How do you steal things that God gives? The curses that will strike some of these governors are still doing press-ups in heaven, Mr. Speaker. Because what they are doing is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, county like Nandi is not a going concern. My governor decided to allocate himself 484 million for office operations. Most of those are Christian as operations, but they are used for personal escapades, chai and mandazi, Mr. Speaker, and buying gazettes. Mr. Speaker, they go to Masai Mara, and I have information. While they are allocating 60 million for bursary, what are you telling us, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, we must call it, and I hope the country is watching. I hope EACC, the ODPP, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, even, for example, I visited Chepterwai on 28 February. That project worth 41.5 million is stalled in Chepterwai, Masab sub-county, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my governor decided to leave official vehicles and use car hire services of 41 million in that financial year. Why? Because the vehicles from county are marked. He wanted a car hire for personal escapades to go to 411 or some of the clubs in Eldoret and Kisumu. And I'm told if you are a girl and you are dating some of these governors, you will live large like you have never done. Mr. Speaker, Homa Bay, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, Homa Bay, even young boys, I'm told, the Bentons, also, even Homa Bay, Mr. Speaker, they were to construct a county headquarters worth 500 million. But corruption and public rip-off of county pension scheme, they constructed a county headquarters worth more than 800 million. What are you telling us? while I celebrate Mama Gladys Wanga for being a good supporter of broad-based, that is not justification to steal from the public. They can never hide. And I know where they are going to hide, Mr. Speaker. Even Abdul Samad, Mr. Speaker. Even Garissa, Mr. Speaker, where 731 million was paid to ghost workers, Mr. Speaker. And I want to ask my beloved president, should these people be spotted at the gate of State House? They should be chased away, arrested promptly by the Inspector General of Police, and be frog-marched before the House for accountability. They have tendencies on El Chapo Guzman. You remember the story of El Chapo Guzman, Mr. Speaker? He ran away, but it was finally caught up, Mr. Speaker. I want to say, as protectors of devolution, Mr. Speaker, that we must agree as a country. Look at Elgeyo Marakwet County. They purchased semen worth 273 million bioassets. Why would you purchase semen that is free available when the cow and the bull is on it? Why are you buying semen, Mr. Speaker? 273 million, Mr. Speaker, that the governor purchased. And when I heard the projects are stalled, Mr. Speaker, this must be brought, Mr. Speaker, before the House so that we can be held accountable. Of course, the Wajir is no longer a going concern. If there is a chair of COG that is the worst since the beginning of the revolution, is the governor of Wajir, Hamed Abdullahi. Hamed Abdullahi. Mr. Speaker, I met him, and I want to confess, I asked him a question, and it is of tremendous respect. I asked him, it is not halal to eat pork, but is it halal to steal from the public? He did not answer me. He said he's in broad-based. Mr. Speaker, we must call these thieves for who they are. Whether they are in one term or two term, they are thieves. It will never change, Mr. Speaker. And we must prosecute them, Mr. Speaker. Whether they want to hide before the united opposition, whether Linda Mwananchi or in two term, Mr. Speaker, they must face justice because that is where they belong, Mr. Speaker. Nairobi Governor and Samburu, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, their warrant of arrest is still active. I want to appeal to Inspector General of Police. Mr. Speaker, he is a fairly old man. His age is an age where he doesn't want cases. I want to ask him, we have a parliamentary police cell here. Can he submit as we go for Easter, the two governors? We deal with them on Tuesday at 8 a.m. But because Waziri Washiria Sifuna will not wake up early, we do it at 11. Mr. Speaker, I support this motion, and in the interest of colleagues also to contribute, I yield back the mic. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, honorable senators, let us hear from the other agenda. That has been a bit volatile. Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this time that I can contribute towards this motion. And from the word go, I support it fully 100%. Because, Mr. Speaker, the governors, what has surprised me, Mr. Speaker, is that they are summoned, they are called to come and appear to CPIC and PAC. And, Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised some of them write letters in the morning of the day they are supposed to appear and say that they are not able because they have other important issues to tend to. Mr. Speaker, and I wonder what is so special more than their counties that they are serving. Mr. Speaker, as I speak now, I have a young man by the name Sami Kioko admitted in hospital right now with a broken leg when he was going to demand for his payment at the county government of Machakos. And he was arrested by the people from Machakos, beaten, taken around until night. I was being called at 10 o'clock in the evening to be told that he's in Machakos, he's in Kangundo Hospital, and they are heading to Nairobi West. Mr. Speaker, these governors, when they are called here, they must appear and come and answer. And that is there's a reason of pending bills that are there. Mr. Speaker, I wish Senator Kio can give you time to listen to what we are saying. Mr. Speaker,
No, we are okay.
this is due to pending bills. In Machakos County, we are pending bills from the first governor who was there to date for more than 5 billion. Mr. Speaker, these governors, when stalled projects, we cannot even count. There are so many, and not only Machakos, across all the 47 counties, we are pending bills, we have stalled projects, and people have died who supplied things in the government, in the county governments, because of lack of payments. Others are suffering high blood pressure, diabetes, name it, because of stress, because they took loans from banks to go and do that work from the governors. And yet, we fight for them to get money from here. And that is why I also support that we should not approve that increment of the monies that should be taken to counties until they style up and be accountable for the monies that they have already received. Mr. Speaker, it is not only the 29, I think there are more than 29 because they are from PAC and CIPIC. And some of them, we write letters up to 4 times before they appear before us. Mr. Speaker, this is very wrong because we have accountability of checking and oversighting them, what they are doing with the money that we request. Mr. Speaker, if you see these governors, I don't know if your governor is like the rest of them. When they go showing what roads they have built, what projects they have done, and they never even mention senators, when the senators are the people who are bringing them the money to be able to work. And yet, they brag and you hear the Mwananchi clapping for them. And you are there, senator, sitting, you know, feeling like you have done nothing, and yet, all the money they are using, we fight for it here and we take it down to them. Before they start even introducing the projects, they should first of all recognize the senators who bring them the money to be able to work. Mr. Speaker, these governors must learn how to behave and how to deal with this Senate and even with the senators down at the ground. We look like we have done nothing, and yet the monies that they are bragging that they've done this project, they've done that project, it is us who fight for it here. And Mr. Speaker, I get so mad that when my time comes and I stand, I must tell the people, the money that the governor has done the projects, when you see a project that has been done, know that your senator has done work and has done what you have called them to do. Mr. Speaker, we love devolution, and we will continue defending devolution. But before we do anything now to increase amounts of money to the governors, they must account for the monies that they have received already. And ESCC must take their position and get the governors who did not appear to us, because the queries from the Auditor General, then they've agreed and accepted that it is the true record of what is there on the ground. So, Mr. Speaker, I plead with the governors to pay pending bills and even to be able to finish the stalled projects, because that is taxpayers of Mwananchi that is lying there doing nothing. And I also plead with my governor to pay Sami Kioko the dues that is supplied for the clothes that is supplied at the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Senator Maina Veronica.
Honorable Speaker, at the very onset, I want to support this motion by Senator Ledama. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, I want to single out one of the asks that Senator Ledama has brought forth, and that is item number 4, that we must collaborate with the oversight bodies, controller of budget, EACC, and DPP to impose consequences under Chapter 6 of Leadership and Integrity, and the governance failure to appear before the CIPIC committee, Honorable Speaker, is the highest breach of our constitution. The governors have a constitutional duty, and public trust has been bestowed upon them under Chapter 6 of the Constitution. So when they fail to observe what they are required to observe in the course of the audit cycle, which requires them to appear before the committees in Senate to account for the resources, the devolved resources to the counties, they have broken that cycle, the audit cycle, and what should automatically follow, Honorable Speaker, is that they should actually be held guilty, just like one of the senators indicated here. Because if you do not want to appear before a committee to account for devolved resources, what does that mean about you? Are you a thief? What is it that you're hiding? Why can't you come and answer queries that have arisen from audit documents? Honorable Speaker, nothing is as easy as EACC to take action against those governors and hold them accountable for those funds they have not explained to the public. And I want to request, first of all, the county assemblies to take note of the 29 governors. I mean, I am even asking myself, is it possible that in a country where there is a constitution, in a country where there is a functional parliament, that a governor chooses not to appear? Is it optional? Do they even understand the mandate? I want to ask the county assemblies to take that list of shame of all the governors who failed to appear, because it is contemptuous to the voter, it's contemptuous to Parliament, it's contemptuous to the people of Kenya, that you have received resources in billions, Honorable Speaker, and people are not blind to the fact that we have seen apartments mushrooming in estates allegedly owned, and developers being the governors themselves, Honorable Speaker. That somebody does not want to account for the resources devolved to a county, and they are the ones in charge of those resources, Honorable Speaker, cannot appear before Senate. This can only maybe possibly happen in the Republic of Kenya. Nowhere else in the whole world. It has never been heard that you are summoned by Parliament and you opt and even actually come into Parliament and hold a press conference where we have no right ourselves as members of Parliament to hold a press conference, Honorable Speaker. I want to say this. If that governor who was holding a press conference today, if no action is taken from the Speaker's seat, we need to ask ourselves whether we are exercising our mandate under Article 96. The first function of Senate is oversight over the counties. Oversight over the counties. Is it possible that Kenyans struggled so much, sweat so much, to enact a constitution which devolved power from a central government, put it back to the people, and then somebody subjugates that power and chooses to run it the way they feel like, as though it's their mother's kitchen or their wife's backyard? That is out of order, Honorable Speaker. Indeed.
Honorable Senators, I know this matter is very emotive, especially failure to appear before the CPAC. But let us at least be fair to...
Honorable Speaker, it's not a light matter, and I do not want to portray it.
At least we be fair to other members of their families.
I know what I mean, and I mean to say exactly that, Honorable Speaker. That it's not a personal space, Honorable Speaker.
Point of order, Senator Kadri.
Give me the mic.
You have the mic now.
Honorable Speaker, I stand on a point of order on the language used by my honorable colleague. Mother's kitchen, wives, what was it? Wives' backyard. I can assure you, mothers and wives are the ones who are taking care of this country when governments are not doing their job. So it's unfair for you to even make reference to them. You might want to make a reference to the other gender, but I would want to ask that you withdraw the reference to mothers and wives, who are the people who are carrying the burden of this country as the governments sleep on the job.
But no, just a minute, Senator Veronica Maina. Senator Catherine Muma, did the chair caution the member? You know the chair, of course, is managing the House, and I did caution the member that you should not trend on that manner. Maybe I'm the one who has prompted you also to think that. But then, since I did the caution, I think it's fair enough that. No, since I did caution the member, I don't think now it is again important to do that. Proceed and conclude, kindly.
Honorable Speaker, you know I'm the chair of KEWOSA and a defender of women. And I'm a mother myself and a wife. The context within which I have said this is to mean that because mothers are so loving, that in their kitchen you will have a few liberties and you can get away with it, that they don't take it. The context is to mean it's not a personal space, but it goes beyond the personal space. However, if anybody feels as though they are offended, they must take cognizance of the fact that I'm a wife and a mother, and I know what I mean when I'm in my kitchen. I can allow you to have coffee when we were actually making tea. Those flexibilities are allowed within the domestic space. That allowance is not available when you are taking up a responsibility in public. You must read the Constitution. But in my house, I don't keep a constitution for the meals I do or some of the behaviors people do. There are some we even overlook. But to make my sister comfortable, the context is this. Maybe I should say the father's kitchen or the father's or the husband's backyard. But since we have few governors who are women, Honorable Speaker, it still goes back to the other gender. Honorable Speaker, what I mean to say is this. They are not showing as though they understand Chapter 6 of the Leadership and Integrity. And I call upon county assemblies to impeach any governor in that list of 29 governors who have not appeared to consider impeachment proceedings. Number two, I call upon the voters to consider doing very serious interviews of any governor candidate who shows interest in taking up that position. Indeed, it's my position, Honorable Speaker, like the Dominican Republic, maybe it's time for us to consider giving governorship position to women, a lot of women, so that we can have better management of the resources sent to the county. Honorable Speaker, the reason why I say this is because there are too many factors that are being managed at the county, and we have seen counties which cannot even manage the resources to even sweep the city or unclog the drainage. Why have they failed to do that? Basic things that happen. Yes, I would wish to be informed by Senator Sifuna, and I hope respectfully so. Speaker can allow you.
Okay, please, if
I accept to be informed.
Yeah, I just wanted to inform my senior, Senator Veronica Maina, that these issues of incompetence and bad management, they know no gender, they know no political party. They cut across. I mean, that governor who moved 10 million shillings from a KIPES account to throw a bash for a border group is actually a lady governor. Yeah. So there's no gender distinction when it comes to bad manners.
Honorable Speaker, I concede to that information given, especially when it is based on facts and figures. I cannot fight with it. Let every governor, whether man or woman, account for the resources that are sent to their counties. And I would urge women to behave very well when they are holding that position so that we can have a G14 or G25, moving from the G7, which was stepped down to G6, so that we can have many more women governors who can then clean up our cities and show a good example of how a city should be managed even better than the homes that they managed very effectively and very competently. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support this motion and ask the governors to man up or woman up and take up the responsibility of accountability and know that the baton has been pressed by the president. Tomorrow there is a conference coming up, Honorable Speaker, and it's about transparency and accountability. The nation is moving on. It's time to account for the resources that come into our hands as leaders. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Senators, you know Kenyans are asking themselves, who are these 29? No. Who are these 29? Who are the 13 who didn't comply? Who are these senators? You know, it depends on where you are listening from. So you should not be ashamed even to read the list. You know, the chair does not participate in debates, but this one, I'm a bit compromised on this one. Senator Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by commending the Minority Whip for this very good motion and very timely. Mr. Speaker, as I support this motion, let me say that I have contacted the Secretariat to try and amend this motion so that instead of these governors appearing before the two committees, as members alluded earlier, they appear before the whole House. And I don't know, a way must be found out. I'm being told that the standing orders do not allow that. But a committee of the whole House is a committee of Parliament, is a committee of Senate. So I would, if you allow me, Mr. Speaker, we do an amendment so that they appear before us the same way they appear before us when we are conducting impeachment. We want all of them to be lined up here so that we can ask them questions one by one. That way, I think the impact will be felt wider and across than them appearing before the committee, because I'm sure if you send them to the committee, they will start bringing the same issues that they are brought, that they cannot appear before the two committees. So if they cannot appear before the two committees, let them appear before the whole House so that we see how we test their allegation that they have been bribing members of this committee. Let them come and tell us how they have been bribing members of the committee, and can they bribe the entire House, Mr. Speaker? So, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, I want to bring that amendment so that we say that they will appear before the committee of the whole. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it is very boring.
Senator Ososi, before I leave the chair,
yes,
because you have requested me to agree with you, yes, I agree with you totally. Because we spend 6 hours with the CSs, and then we don't summon any governor to appear before this. So we need to amend the standing orders.
Yeah.
I would convince the speaker who chairs that committee and myself as vice chair, we must amend those standing orders to allow governors to appear. Even we can step down all the CSs and allow governors to be appearing before this Senate.
Yes. So I think that punishment would be more effective than them appearing before the committee, because they will start playing the usual games, postponing their appearance or even rejecting to appear. So I think we need to think about that. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that it is very boring, and I want to reveal to this House, it is very boring chairing the two committees, because it looks like a ritual. Every year the same issues and nothing is being done. Same queries, nothing is being done. And Mr. Speaker, even as we say that we are going to ask them to come and tell us the implementation of our recommendation, I want to say that if you look at the report of PAC and PIC, you realize that 90% of the recommendation are to EACC. To to investigate and take action. But EACC has slept on the job, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the report for last year and even the other year, no feedback from EACC. So even as we talk about governors appearing before us, let us also find a way of making EACC accountable to this House. Because it's very painful, Mr. Speaker, that governors just come, they appear before us as a ritual, they leave, we do reports, nothing is being done, and then the following year comes, and 5 years is gone. Mr. Speaker, if I may give experiences of my committee, water companies, this is a conduit for corruption and stealing. They have deliberately allowed this company not to operate efficiently. These companies are just avenues of stealing money from the county. They pump money into these companies saying, oh, they want to help them pay salaries, they want to help them pay electricity bill, and then they find a way of going to collect that money again. These companies sell water, and most of that water is not accounted for, Madam Speaker, because most of that water is non-revenue water, because there are a lot of companies selling water in our counties. We went to Bomet last year, and it is very surprising that in Bomet, the water company is actually insolvent. The water company is insolvent, but the staff are there working. They are looking very healthy. They look like people who make money, and there are a lot of water companies selling water here and there, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, something has to be done. If you look at hospitals in our counties, Madam Speaker, they are barely functional, Madam Speaker. It is sad that we were told Busia County, imagine a referral hospital that is even thinking of being upgraded to a level 6, has no ambulance. And they appeared before PAC, and PAC gave them a timeline to buy an ambulance by November. They came to CPIC the other day, and they have not bought the ambulance, Madam Speaker. They have a small mortuary with so many bodies, a capacity of 12 bodies, but now the bodies which are there are more than 30. And they have nowhere to take the bodies. The machines are non-functional in these hospitals, Madam Speaker. Not just Busia, many other hospitals. And yet they are collecting money. FIF, they have refused to implement FIF according to the law. They are still, the FIF Act is very clear that the money must be used within the hospital. But that money is still being taken away, Madam Speaker, because they are finding loopholes for corruption. Madam Speaker, when you talk about funds, there is one particular fund that is now being used as a conduit for corruption. The empowerment funds, the Women Empowerment Fund, the Youth Fund, Enterprise Fund, all these funds are criminal enterprises, Madam Speaker. Because in all the counties, they give out loans and are unable to recover the loans, Madam Speaker. And they come before us and they complain, they say how difficult it is to recover the money. And most of these loans have been given to the friends, girlfriends, and relatives and boyfriends in some counties of the governors, Madam Speaker. If you look at our report, look at the amount of unrecoverability of loans, you will be surprised. It's running into billions of shillings, Madam Speaker. And we have recommended EACC to take action. Madam Speaker, nothing is being done. Nothing is being done. So, Madam Speaker, I want to recommend that before we invite the governors here, can we also invite the EACC to appear before us, the Committee of the Whole and DCI, to ask them why have they not taken action on our recommendation? I think that should be the beginning. And Madam Speaker, I'm beginning to think that this House, we need to rate our governors. Because I know there are some governors who are working, Madam Speaker. I am so impressed by the reports of Makueni County, Governor Mutula Kilonzo. I'm also impressed partially by the reports of Muranga County and even Nyeri County partially. Madam Speaker, there are some governors who are also doing a good job. Let us have a way of rating these governors so that we don't leave this task to some funny guys outside there, where governors pay money and they are rated. You hear someone is the best governor. And when you go on the ground, there is nothing. This House should also conduct the rating so that every year, let us have a list of shame, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, as I conclude, EACC is protecting governors. The other institution that is protecting governors, Madam Speaker, is the presidency. Because government...
Time up, time up. We have many senators on the line. Senator Dangwa, please. Oh.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, even as I rise to support the motion, you know, many who follow me, they always ask whether the substantive Speaker of the Senate is a madam, because whenever I speak, it's Madam Speaker, where the others are saying Mr. Speaker. But I tell them I think I find favor.
So you should thank me
Yes,
for giving you
I
an
thank
opportunity to speak.
I thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think I will pick it up from where Senator Osotsi, my former chair, when I was a member of CIPIC, and to say that all counties have failed, and it looks normal, Madam Speaker. Because all of them, according to this report, they all got a qualified opinion. And when you hear qualified opinion, sometimes it looks like a nice word, Madam Speaker, but that means there are errors, there are gaps, and there is no compliance, Madam Speaker. So whenever a county gets a qualified opinion, it means they never gave the documents that were required to substantiate or to explain the expenditures that they had, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, 32 billion in pending bills, 115 debt when it comes to pensions, Madam Speaker. That is what the governors are doing at this moment. And when you hear a governor is invited to this Senate and cannot honor the summons, Madam Speaker, then it begs the question, are we truthless as a House? Are they not even afraid of the Speaker of this House, Madam Speaker? Because, and I can give this an analogy, Madam Speaker, whereby the police issues a warrant of arrest of a criminal. They even give a wanted, they issue a wanted post or poster. But the police do not arrest that criminal. But in the evening, the same criminal goes to the IG or to the head of that police department and have tea in his police station and is not arrested, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, who is taking this House as does not understand what you're supposed to be doing here, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, today, the governor of Samburu, yesterday was the governor of Nairobi. They come to this Senate and they hold a press conference, Madam Speaker, and say, you see, we are here. We presented ourselves. The Senate did not do anything. So they should stop telling us that we are running away. But Madam Speaker, when the Senate has come to you to tell you now, come in, we are here, then you run away. And that is what has happened this afternoon, Madam Speaker, when the governor of Samburu was around, where we wanted just to talk to him, because if he's around, let's ask him questions, Madam Speaker. But he ran away, Madam Speaker. Madam Speakers, counties are not failing accidentally. They are doing so systematically, Madam Speaker. Because they are planning to do this, Madam Speaker. And when they plan to do this, they believe the Senate is not or does not have the teeth to bite, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me give you an example. Because even if we are looking at the auditor's report, we are somehow in that group of a mortician, Madam Speaker. Because you have to wait for the Auditor General to do the work, then we have to look into that issue, then we have to ask questions that the Auditor General probably had asked and never got the answers, Madam Speaker. Today, as we speak, there is this report by the COB, Controller of Budget, the County Government Budget Implementation Review Report for the last half year, Madam Speaker. That is most current, Madam Speaker. But do you know what? We have to wait for the Auditor General to come and ask those questions. So those questions that I'm supposed to be asking today, Madam Speaker, I'll have to wait till 2027 probably. And by sheer luck, or whatever, Madam Speaker, I become the governor of Kiambu in 2027. The questions that I'm supposed to be asking now, I'll have to answer them then, when I become the governor of Kiambu, Madam Speaker. So there is a problem somewhere. Because today the reports are there by COB. We have seen them, they are online, but we have to wait for the Auditor General to release these reports for us now to ask questions, Madam Speaker. I think the best way is what Senator Osotsi is suggesting, that we should do away with the CSs here. Because sometimes I find it like we're just romanticizing that for nothing, Madam Speaker, when they come here to stand here. We should be inviting governors so that they can come and answer these questions, Madam Speaker. We ask, for example, Kiambu County, where I come from, the Senate, we help them here. We give them 13 billion as equitable share, Madam Speaker. But when we give them 13 billion, they do a budget of 26 billion. Madam Speaker, they say they are going to raise 10 billion as own source revenue, Madam Speaker. And when you look at this report by the COB, Madam Speaker, for the last 6 months, Kiambu County has collected only 1 billion as own source revenue. So they have a deficit of about 9 billion that they're supposed to collect within the next 6 months, Madam Speaker. Now, when this happens, that's why we will always be having pending bills, Madam Speaker. The pending bills will be always there because they are over-budgeting, they are over-implementing or over-committing these monies to the contractors, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to finish by saying what we have witnessed from these reports, Madam Speaker, is that we have accounting without accountability. We have expenditure, Madam Speaker, without evidence. And we have governments without governance, Madam Speaker. So what we would say as the Senate, Madam Speaker, is that we do what other governments have been doing. And it happened in the UK Parliament in 2021 when the Parliament summoned somebody by the name Dominic Cummings, an advisor of the then Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. And when he refused to appear before the committee, and he was just a mere advisor, Madam Speaker, they did what we are supposed to be doing now, Madam Speaker, by providing sanctions, by even making non-appearance to the Senate to be an impeachable offense, Madam Speaker. Because if you cannot appear to the committee, you cannot appear to the Senate, you are obstructing unlawful oversight, Madam Speaker. And that is obstruction of duty. And if you obstruct even a police officer, it's an offense. So it would be an offense to obstruct the Senate, Madam Speaker. As easy as that. And it is a violation of constitutional accountability. And if it is a violation of Constitution, Article 181 of our Constitution gives it as a ground enough to impeach someone, Madam Speaker. So we should be giving governors some red cards. When they come here and we give them, they take to their counties, so that now the MCAs can pick up from there and say, if you did not appear to the Senate, then that means you have violated the Constitution. That means this is an impeachable ground, and so we remove you. And then they come here, Madam Speaker, and they will meet us now. That will be, their final visit to the Senate, because if you do not appear to the Senate when we invite you to account, then when you are brought here, we should not even give you an ear. We should just send you home where the MCAs would want you to be, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I stand here to support this motion, and especially the last sentence of that motion that says, and I read it, Mr. Speaker, we should disqualify them from future electoral candidacies. Madam Speaker. So if we find a governor is not appearing to the Senate, then why are you running again to be a governor? To do what, Madam Speaker? Because you cannot account to what you are spending. You cannot account to your deeds, Madam Speaker, in that county. So I support this motion, and thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I will always be here when you are there, Madam Speaker, so that I get that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Thangwa. Senator Munyihaji Faki. And if you are well-minded, Senator Faki, you can use less minutes than your allocation so that others can speak. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, sijui kwa nini umenichagua mimi kuongea kwa uchache zaidi kuliko wengine, lakini nitajaribu Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kwanza Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni mpongeze Senator Olekina kutoka gatuzi la Narok kwa kuweza kuleta mswada huu. Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kweli kwamba maazimio mengi ambayo yanafanywa na bunge hili yanaachiwa taasisi zingine ambazo inafaa kuyasimamia na kuyatekeleza. Lakini tumeona kwamba kwa muda mrefu maazimio yao hayajafuatiliwa. Kwa mfano Mheshimiwa Speaker, kulipotokea janga la Solai, kamati ya bunge hili ilifanya kazi kubwa kwa wale ambao walikuwa katika bunge hili wakati ule. Lakini baadaye ikawa hakuna jambo lolote la kutekeleza. Vile vile tulipoanza bunge hili Mheshimiwa Speaker, tulipokwenda Shakahola, tulipendekeza mambo mengi, lakini hakuna hata moja ambalo lilitekelezwa. Hata ule mswada ambao Mheshimiwa Mungatana aliupendekeza, ilibidi baada ya kuonana na makanisa ikabidi aregee nyuma na aweze kuondoa mswada huo. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, huu mswada utasaidia pakubwa kuleta usawa na uwajibikaji kwa zile taasisi nyingine za kiserikali kama vile ofisi ya ODPP, anti-corruption na vile vile taasisi nyingine ambazo zinahusika na masuala haya. Mheshimiwa Speaker, swala la kupuuzwa kwa ripoti za auditor ama mhasibu mkuu wa serikali ni jambo la kawaida kwa magavana wetu. Kila mwaka kwa mfano kule kwetu Mombasa, kila mwaka Mombasa Municipal Stadium ilikuwa iko katika ripoti. Na kila mwaka tumeelezwa sababu tofauti kwa nini haijatekelezwa. Lakini ukiangalia kuna pesa zimetumika labda milioni 100, milioni 80 za kulipa watu ambao zilikuwa pesa zile zinastahili kufanyiwa kazi nyingine. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, watu wengi wanasema kwamba kufa kwa wengi ni harusi. Na hapa wale magavana ambao wamehusika na utepetevu huu wa kukataa kupuuza maamuzi ya kamati ni 29, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na nipe fursa hii Mheshimiwa Speaker, kabla ya kukaa niweze kuwataja wale magavana wahusika ili kila mtu ajue tunazungumzia nani. Mheshimiwa Speaker, tutaanza na kaunti 001 ambao ni kaunti ya Mombasa. Gavana wetu alipewa fursa ya kuja mpaka wiki iliyokwisha tarehe 24 nafikiri ya 23 ya mwezi huu alikuwa ameitwa na kamati hii ya uhasibu, lakini hakuweza kuhudhuria. Mheshimiwa Speaker, hawa 29 ni kama ifuatavyo: Turukana, Turukana, gatuzi la Turukana, Tana River, Makueni. Na Mheshimiwa Speaker, Makueni tunasikitika sana kwamba Mheshimiwa ama Governor Mutula Kilonzo Junior alikuwako ni senator kwa mihula miwili na alikaa hapa kama kiranja wa wachache katika bunge hilo kwa muda mrefu. Kwa hiyo ni masikitiko Mheshimiwa Speaker kwamba amevaa joho jingine na anapuuza maamuzi ya bunge hili. Tharaka Nithi, Nandi, Siaya, Muranga pia Mheshimiwa Speaker, Mheshimiwa Irungu Kang'ata alikuwa pia anakaa pale anapokaa Mheshimiwa Wakoli. Alikuwa pia ni kiranja wa wengi katika bunge la Senate lililokwisha. Mheshimiwa Speaker, Senator Nakuru alikuwa naibu wa kiongozi wa wengi pia katika bunge lililokwisha Mheshimiwa Speaker. Senator Samburu, Marsabit, Nairobi, kiti cha Gavana Sakaja ni kile ambacho kiko karibu na anachokaa Mheshimiwa Alan Chesang. Mheshimiwa Homa Bay, huyu pia alikuwa ni mwenyekiti katika ile National Assembly, bunge la kitaifa, alikuwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya fedha kwa wakati fulani. Mheshimiwa Spika, Wajir County ndiye mwenyewe kabisa, yule ndio kubwa kabisa wale ambao wanapuuza maamuzi ya bunge hili. Migori, Mheshimiwa Spika, walikuwa wanakaa pale Mheshimiwa Spika, na yeye alikuwa anasema kwamba nguvu za fisi ni katika mafisi wengine. Kwa hivyo huu msemo huu nafikiri ameuchukua akaupeleka katika baraza la magavana kukataa kuja katika bunge hili. Mheshimiwa Spika, Baringo County, Lamu County, Mheshimiwa Spika, gavana wa Lamu ni wakili mwenye tajiriba kubwa, lakini nashangaa ameingia katika kundi ambalo ni la mafisi na wengineo. Mheshimiwa Spika, Uasin Gishu, Busia County, Isiolo ndio baba wa wote hao. Kirinyaga County, Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu pia alikuwa ni mwenyekiti wa baraza la magavana. Kisii County, Kajiado, Mheshimiwa Spika, Kakamega, Kilifi County, Mheshimiwa Spika, Garissa na Taita Taveta County. Mheshimiwa Spika, yote haya ni kwamba ni lazima ripoti za bunge hili zichukuliwe kwa umuhimu zaidi, na nimefurahi kwamba kiongozi wa wengi katika bunge hili amewada wa kugawanya pesa katika serikali hizi mbili, serikali ya ugatuzi na serikali kuu. Japokuwa itawakwaza baadhi ya wale magavana ambao walikuja katika bunge hili na kuweza kutetea ripoti zao, lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, saa nyingine watu wanasema kata pua uunge wajihi. Saa nyingine inaweza kuambiwa na daktari kwamba tusipokata hichi kidole mguu mzima tutaukata. Kwa hivyo sasa sisi tutakata kidole tuokoe mguu. Twazuia hii mswada wa fedha, Mheshimiwa Spika, ili kuhakikisha kwamba magavana hawa wanawajibika. Na katika uwajibikaji si jambo la kupendelea, ama ni jambo ambalo wanatufanyia sisi kama tunaweza kusema ni mzaha ama ni favor, kwamba wanafanyia bunge hili kwamba mimi nikienda pale nitakwenda. Hii ni katiba, Mheshimiwa Spika, na ugatuzi tutaujenga iwapo tutaweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanawajibika. Mwisho kabisa, Mheshimiwa Spika, nakubaliana na Senator Aaron Cheriot alipozungumza kwamba uwajibikaji wa magavana wa pili wa muhula wa pili, yani kutoka mwaka 2017 mpaka 22, Mheshimiwa Spika, ulikuwa ni wa hali ya juu, kwa sababu wakati ule tulikuwa tunaangalia ripoti za miaka mitano ya kwanza, lakini sasa tunaangalia ripoti za mwaka ule ambao umekamilika. Kwa mfano sasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati hizi mbili zitakuwa na wakati mzuri wa kuangalia ripoti za mwaka 2025-26 ili tuweze kuwa sawa kabisa, ambapo tukisema kwamba bunge la kitaifa lilete ripoti zake pia ziwe sambamba na za bunge hili, itakuwa ni bora, kwa sababu pesa nyingi zitaweza kuletwa katika ugatuzi. Kwa sasa tunatumia hesabu za mwaka 2021-22 ili kugawanya pesa kwa kaunti zetu, lakini ikiwa bunge la kitaifa litakuwa sambamba na kuangalia ripoti za mwaka 2024 na 25 kama alivyofanya bunge hili, Mheshimiwa Spika, itasaidia pakubwa kupeleka rasilimali zaidi katika bunge letu. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono mswada huu, na tungependa kwamba wale magavana ambao hawa 29 ambao tumewataja hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika, waje pale katika bunge zima hili, kama zile Jumatano za asubuhi ambazo twadili na magavana, twadili na mawaziri, Mheshimiwa Spika, wawe ni magavana wako pale, kwa sababu hizo ndio kazi ambazo tutakana kufanya wananchi wetu wapate huduma. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you, Senator Faki. Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity. I support the motion to thank my leader, my brother, Senator Olekina, for bringing this motion. Because you remember yesterday, Madam Speaker, many members wanted to speak to the two reports, but we didn't have an opportunity because of the timelines. That's why it was important that today we have this motion to contribute so that we can ventilate. Madam Speaker, I agree that this 29 list of shame of governors be invited to come to the committee of the whole in this particular Senate, Madam Speaker. What I can note from the list of shame of 29, Madam Speaker, is it's unfortunate that majority of them either served in Senate or in National Assembly. Some of them were even cabinet secretaries, Madam Speaker. So these are people who had been put in positions of leadership. Some of them were members of National Assembly and Senate, and they are the ones who passed these particular laws, Madam Speaker, and they don't want to respect or even obey the laws, Madam Speaker. It's very unfortunate because people don't want to account. This particular Senate, Madam Speaker, as senators and as Senate, the relationship between Senate and senators and governors and county governments, Madam Speaker, our job is to ensure we do appropriation so that the resources can be sent to the counties. And then the next relationship that we have with them is oversight. They are working very, very well with us when we want to appropriate the resources. They are the implementers, but when it comes to the opportunity of doing oversight, they don't want to be accountable, Madam Speaker. You can have your cake and eat it, Madam Speaker. This is unfortunate. In fact, in the Committee of Civic and Board, CBAC, Madam Speaker, we have done so many rescheduling of meetings. Somebody says, I'm out of the country. Then you see them in the evening in the news. You wonder why this particular, you're out of the country, but you are in the news in the evening. Where you, I mean, this is really lying. So that is why, Madam Speaker, they knew that we only have up to 31st of March of each year, Madam Speaker. So that's why they were trying to reschedule to avoid coming to Senate to answer to queries raised by the Auditor General, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that is why as CIPIC and CIPAC, we said let us adopt the reports the way they are. And then from there, we pass them to ACC, to DCI, and then eventually they can meet the office of the ODPP and judiciary because they need to face the law. You cannot want to lead people and you don't want to be accountable to them, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, if you check those particular reports, you will be surprised. You can see a second-term governor, a report comes to the committee which is adverse. Adverse means basically there is nothing. There were no documents. Others is disclaimer. So it means there were no records completely, Madam Speaker. And this is somebody who is in the office. Auditor General's officers, they go there for initial meeting. They do management reports. They give them opportunity, but they don't. But by the time they are invited to come to Senate, some of them manufacture documents. Yeah, they manufacture documents and falsify to look like they have basically, they have complied. But all of them, if you check through them, Madam Speaker, you will be surprised. In fact, most of the governors who have come to these particular committees, when you ask them to respond, majority don't respond. They say, CEC Finance, CEC Water. You wonder why. You are the one in charge of the county. How can you be in charge of the county and you don't know what's happening? Even to read what has been written, some of them can't even read. Yeah, imagine. I mean, the accountants have written these things for you, but you can't respond. You can't read them. You have to ask somebody to read for you. So maybe it is important also for Kenyans. 2027 is very close. We are asking our people, please vet the governors that we are going to put in place. The position of a governor is very important. It's as important as the presidency. That is why the requirement to be elected as a governor, you must have a degree. So please, Kenyans, watch, vet them, see if these are people who are likely to do something or they are just coming to steal. Because it looks like in this country we have devolved corruption. Corruption has been devolved in all the counties. So, Madam Speaker, when I come back now to my county, Elgeyo County, I want to ask the governor to complete all stalled projects. When the budget of 2026-27 comes in, can you put resources to complete Iten Amenity Hospital? You complete Chibararua that was partially demolished, Kapchara Sub-County Hospital, Tot Sub-County Hospital, you complete Kamoson. So that the people of Elgeyo County can get value for money. You know, there is no need to have projects staying for 5, 10 or so years without being used. It means basically we don't get value for money. So, Madam Speaker, I agree that we need the 29 governors. Instead of appearing in CIPIC and CIPAC, let them come and face the whole house. the way CS has come to this house, if the cabinet secretaries who are very busy get an opportunity to come and answer to Senate, then why are governors not coming? Because they don't have another job. They have CCs who can delegate some duties at the county to be done by the governors, deputy governors or CCCs. In fact, Madam Speaker, we need also to relook at this particular position for our deputy governor positions. Most governors pick running mates. As soon as the deputy governors, elections are over, the deputy governors are left to read newspapers. They are given no role at all. We need to relook also at the Constitution so that our deputy governors can be allocated duties to assist the governors, instead of the governors bypassing them, dealing with CECs alone and chief officers who are used basically to steal together. So, Madam Speaker, I wish to support, and we ask EACC to move with speed. Already the report has been approved by the Senate yesterday. Look at the recommendations, and each of these two committees will report every month, as the motion says. Every month we'll give a progress report. And if EACC doesn't do its job, basically, it means we need to invite them here so that they get instruction. Yeah, you remember there was a time, P.L.O. Lumumba, in the evening he didn't have a job because Parliament changed the law. So please, EACC, take up the challenge and move with speed, and we want to see governors being taken to court. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Senator Kisang. Senator Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate Senator Ledama because Madam Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I want to support and appreciate Senator Ledama on this motion because what the country has been drawn to could simply look like a banter between Senate and senators and governors. And this particular motion gives us opportunity to put things into perspective. And even in the discussion today, Madam Speaker, there has been generalities trying to catch up here and there what is happening in the different counties. Madam Speaker, with this opportunity, I want to narrow down to Migori County, because Migori County, Madam Speaker, was supposed to appear before PAC on 18th of this month, aware that these reports had to be processed by 31st, which was yesterday, Madam Speaker, so that we could be able to meet the deadlines. My governor, the governor of Migori County, refused to attend that meeting with PAC. Now, because he refused to attend that meeting with PAC, Madam Speaker, we passed the report yesterday as is. And that is what I want to be able to draw attention of the country here today, so that the country can answer the question that the senators are struggling with, whether my governor should or should not have appeared before PAC with regards to answering to the audit queries that were raised here in the report of 2024, 2020, 25. Madam Speaker, the Auditor General says in the report of Migori County that there was 8.6 million in Migori County, a variance that was withdrawn from the county revenue fund, and it is reported in the financial statements without knowing what this money was used for. I'm asking Kenyans, should the governor of Migori County have appeared before the PAC committee to be able to clarify this or not? Madam Speaker, the Auditor General says in their report that in 2024-2025, Migori County used 72 million shillings to build early childhood development education classrooms, that the Auditor General, in the best opinion, is not convinced that these classrooms were built because there were no clarity in terms of their tendering. There was no clarity and evidence in terms of any advertisement and quotes done. There was no even any committee evaluations to the building of these classrooms for ECDs, costing Migori County 72 million. I am asking Kenyans, should the governor of Migori have appeared before the Senate to make this clear to the country. Madam Speaker, the Auditor General says it had a major finding that in the county revenue fund of Migori County, there was another 58 million that was withdrawn without any paperwork. That money, the auditor is not sure what it was done with. It cannot, the Auditor General cannot even trace this money. I am asking the nation, was the governor of Migori County right to refuse to come to the park committee to be able to answer where this 58 million went to? Madam Speaker, in this report, and these are reports that have been put before this House because he did not come to answer, we passed a law, and the nation should understand, we passed a law that says that all monies from level 4 and level 3 hospitals, sometimes also to level 5 hospitals, must be retained in those hospitals to be able to serve those hospitals, to give medicine, to give support in terms of payment to staffers of those categories, and any other supplies, even where food is needed, to people who are sick in our level 3, level 4, and level 5 hospitals. Auditor General says that despite us insisting through a law that was passed by both houses of parliament that you cannot remove money from hospitals which whatsoever, the Auditor General says Migori County removed 146 million from all our level 4 hospitals and level 3 hospitals without accounting what they used that money for. The Auditor General cannot be able to trace. I am asking the nation, is the governor of Migori County right to look at the Committee of Parliament called PIC and say, I am not going to come and answer to that question, that is my money? Madam Speaker, I'm going on with a report that is before you, Madam Speaker, that there was an expenditure, Madam Speaker, of 50 million in legal fees in Migori County. And even after spending that 50 million, there was a variation of 3.9 million on accrued legal fee, something we have said without time, without numbers, a house, that you cannot be able to accrue that kind of money. So you have got almost 54 million paid to legal fee that the Auditor General cannot be able to confirm whether this happened or not in Migori County. I am asking the nation, is the governor of Migori County fair to look the park committee in the eye and write to them a letter that I will not come to answer to this question? Madam Speaker, if you look at the report again on 2024-2025, there is a place called Taraguiti. This is in Kuria County, Madam Speaker. There's a dispensary that there was supposed to be building of a new staff's house in this dispensary in Taraguiti, Madam Speaker. The governor of Bigori used 2.5 million that the auditor says that the money was budgeted for, the money was used, but the new staffers' rooms was not built. I'm asking the nation, is the governor right not to come to this house to answer these questions?
Senator Eddie Okech, when we resume, you will have a balance of 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Honorable Senators, this motion will continue for debate and will be listed at the earliest instance, maybe tomorrow on priority basis. Honorable Senators, it's now 6:30 p.m. Time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 2nd April 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.